Nice. Welcome to The Good Show, ladies and gentlemen, episode 32 of our talk show here at The Good Studio. My name is Semmler. I'll be your host this evening because my co-host James is feeling a little under the weather. He's just going to wave at the camera. So, and not say a damn word. Awesome. I can get used to this.
Good music, by the way, Scriff.
Oh, and by the way,
the show.
Trance is slacking off. He's got something he's doing, so Scriff will be ending production tonight if anything goes wrong.
Trance was 2012. Like, really, he used to care.
Are we moving out of it?
Scriff's a new man.
Yeah?
2013 is the year of Scriff. In China, they will celebrate the year of Scriff.
Children will be born under the year of Scriff. What does that make them, the children, if they're born under his year, you know? Scrifflings. Shifty-eyed buggers. Okay, doesn't matter. In the corner, we have our two experts, the duo Adebisi and Hellspawn. What's up, bros? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Me too.
No Newman, though, unfortunately, for today.
Yeah, he couldn't make it. I don't know really why.
Was he sick? What was the deal?
Not sure. Maybe he was just busy.
It's mysterious.
Yeah, I just saw a line in the chat saying, "Oh, I can't make it tonight, guys. Sorry." And Metabu was all like, "Oh, will you be moderating the chat?" If he's busy and not here, he's in the chat.
That's alright. I mean, you guys trek all the way down here. A day off would be great.
It's a lot of work to do.
Alright, well, I think we can go ahead and start moving on into the show then. So, as far as we're concerned, we're going to start the show off with general news as we have our new layout for the year. Getting into general news, and I know Hellspawn is rearing to go on this one, we have IGN hit with layoffs and are looking for buyers for IPL. Now, Hellspawn, you really wanted to talk about this earlier when we were sitting in the office. I'm going to let you go ahead and start your rampage.
First off, it should be said, like IGN, for a couple of years were for sure the biggest gaming site, and they lost some parts. I think GameSpot is bigger nowadays. I think also maybe IGN's some of their investments in other countries haven't been the best. Mm-hmm. Also, it's really sad for me to see that GameSpy is going down because that brand, their logo, what that site was in the beginning or the late 90s were big. I mean, it was the way to find servers as a Quaker or as a contract player, and also a lot of the demos, a lot of like news content came on later. But I mean, that was one of the biggest sites for a long time within gaming.
GameSpy was fucking awesome.
Yeah, GameSpy was great.
I used it a lot.
I think OneUp and which other site went down?
M-Player?
No?
The sites for finding games and doing all the stuff. You had GameSpy,
the other
M-Player,
two sites I meant.
And you had Yahoo. Used to play games on Yahoo.
So first off,
MSN owned it at the time.
First off, those two parts, I think it's like IGN not doing it so great as they've done before because they have been the largest gaming site in the world, and then GameSpy also removing. But IPL up for sales. I can say good luck with finding a buyer. I don't really know the actual value because it feels so great connected to their business model. The way they run things is so connected with IGN. They don't have an IGN. Feels strange. I don't think they can find a buyer.
Mike, you got your 2 cents you want to throw in?
I don't know. I feel like I mean, to me, when I looked at this, I kind of was like, yeah, kind of saw it coming. To me, the weirdest thing that makes almost no sense is the whole IGN is going to go from being a general gaming site, what it's always been, and they're going to be doing not only just like esports journalism coverage, but they also want to be broadcasting esports events. So it's like, I don't know. It just sounds like whoever wrote that doesn't like. It doesn't sound like there's a real vision for what IGN is going to become with this like coverage site idea. And I think their whole. I mean, you read the comments on GameSpot about like what Slasher writes on there, and like that audience hates that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
They hate that stuff, and it's like for GameSpot, it's like he's just coming in giving more content. For IGN regular visitors, it's like we're done making what you used to like. Here's esports. Have fun. They're going to be even more fucking vicious. I think so.
It's a really fucked up situation. Like, that's the only way you can sum it up. I mean, I kind of knew, like, David Singh, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Okay.
A long time ago, I spoke to David Ting about kind of IPL and all that kind of stuff. Like, it must have been over, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a very long time ago. And I was like, and I'm always interested in people's kind of business models and exit plans. And he actually said that his exit plan was sell after 2 years. So it's kind of weird to see that he knew potentially that the brand was looking to sell way, way long ago. And then the company must have known they're going to do this, to change direction and go this, to either try and sell or go down. And then it actually happens. And so I think the company being well aware of what their strategy has been in terms of being able to sell, what could possibly happen, and what finances and what they wanted to come into the company. For the whole IGN website to go to esports, which is correct, yeah?
Yeah, that's what they've said. I think
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
Well,
like they were
IGN
focused
go
on-
esports?
Yeah, no,
focus
read
on
the
esports,
quote
yeah.
is in the document if you pull up the document.
We have
and
it
they
here.
said a bit more.
IGN's role going forward will be to broadcast and cover a variety of esports events.
Yeah, but it's not.
What does
They
that
will
mean?
have the normal IGN content. That's
No, because I thought part of this whole thing was that...
I thought part of the whole thing, I agree. The main people who work at IGN who do mainstream gaming, the people that are doing the esports stuff with IPL, keep trying to do that.
And they get sold. No, but then IGN, the IGN, they have layoffs or whatever, but then the people that are writing the general gaming stuff, they can stay on and do the esports coverage instead. It's so weird. But I thought part of the whole overarching idea was that Ziff Davis, when they bought it, they're like, well, we've bought this big property, Men's Health, they're probably happy with. They probably were more interested in that. Then they're like, well, we've got 4 different gaming sites producing similar competing content, so they wanted to get rid of that. So that's why they killed off GameSpy and 1UP and so forth. So yeah, I think it's quite weird. I mean, how are they going to
IGN
broadcast esports events when they're selling their league?
But that's the weird thing. It's like
That's the big thing.
IGN actually have remember when they first came on the scene with IPL, their production value for online content was really quite good. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
But that was all outsourced entirely by
so
volunteers.
It's like maybe they're considering doing other people's content or trying
But it's
to
not
sell
the same
more
people at all
content.
anyway, so
Yeah.
it's like...
No, who knows?
And I mean, this seems like it's coming from so far above from the Ziff Davis guys, not from IPL itself.
I don't know.
But also looking at what they did. First, they did like a $5,000 online tournament. Then I think they raised the prize money.
Yeah, 10 or 15,
Yeah,
something, still
and-
online. Yeah.
And it was still North American, or did they split it up at that point?
I think
IPL too?
I know White Raw won the second one. I'm trying to think if there were Koreans, but I guess there probably wasn't Koreans in it then. If White Raw won.
And then the third was that big one, the first big one, $100,000. Stefano won it against all of the odds, more or less.
That was what made his name almost.
Yeah. It was his a huge breakthrough, and then went on. But I think IPL 3 was for sure known. I think David Finn commented on it. They burned so much money and they went out of control on spendings on IPL 3.
Did he say that?
Do you think so?
yeah, they lost big money on that.
I think IPL 3 went way out of
Was that
proportion.
Cosmopolitan? the first
No,
time?
no, that was Atlantic City.
I was there for that one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think at least. So they needed to reshape and get control of their spendings. So IPL 4 was still a good event, but was not as big as IPL 3 or the investment they did. And then I think IPL 5 was really praised. I mean, a lot of people said that it was maybe the best event of the year. But still, I mean, how cheap can it be to be in Las Vegas, one of the biggest hotels, having that kind of venue, bringing in the TV, all those people, and running the production? I mean, you're burning so much money that I think it's impossible to keep that running, to be honest.
David Ting basically, he said that the money that they spend on events was money directly out of the IPL budget, and the IPL budget was made from him getting partnerships from sponsors. So even Cosmopolitan and the events were actually sponsors.
Yeah,
That's how they got-
Cosmopolitan is a
the
sponsor
and the one at
partner.
the Atlantic City as well was
Yeah.
also event sponsored. So I don't think they were burning money like you think they're burning money.
I think they were burning money, but maybe not to the extent he said. Like, I mean, when you look at these events, a lot of them were hosted on, I think one was like the Thanksgiving weekend and Easter, because they were working with the venue, and, you know, the Cosmopolitan, it's like they'll get booked for, you know, good weekends, and then there's kind of like, well, who wants to come and do something on Easter? And it's like, well, then IGN can do it for cheap, or IPL can do it for cheap there.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of big events do have sponsorships from the city or deals with the venue. So I don't think that, you know, it's so special. I think it's a reason that MLG went to Rally.
Yes.
Yeah, Rally invested money into Rally. I think
Raleigh. MLG Raleigh.
Yeah. Stupid
Raleigh.
name.
Yeah.
Stupid
Anyway,
city.
so
Yeah.
I still think that, you know, bringing people to Las Vegas, having them, I think it's big spending overall to be it's an expensive city, I would say. So that's just my view on it. And also, I mean, having Shootmania $100,000, I don't think that the Nadeo and Ubisoft paid all of those money, and so on and so forth. And then you keep like the regular content. I mean, they had broadcast how many days a week you with just Shootmania or StarCraft or all these events. I don't see the business model flying, and when you cut it loose from IGN, then it's even worse, because IGN, of course, they can sell big to AMD or Asus or these gaming developers, but if you don't have IGN who has all these connections behind you, how it's gonna fly then?
Well, maybe someone... I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, who would buy this? The only people I can see buying it would be people who have some kind of connection to go in and get it sponsored, and then buy something big and mainstream.
I mean,
like,
we all said that the biggest advantage that they had IPL was being connected to IGN, which was that mainstream gaming site with all the connections in the world and, you know, first looks and all that
Financing,
crap.
especially.
Well, who knows? But at the same time, they ran off their own finances, IPL, and obviously the resources that IGN had and some of the people there are going to be invaluable. If they turn that company into an esports side of things, they're going to be not ignored, but it's going to be it's soon to be a very considered relic.
Well, if you look
for
into
what
it
it
this
used to
way,
be.
apparently we have a small update here, but apparently IGN and Ask Men will be the sites that will continue. And what's happening is that IGN is going to roll over what IPL was taking care of, put that into IGN, because they don't see the merit of having a second brand that's taking care of that now. So IPL is just, it seems like they're putting the brand up for sale, but everything that IPL was doing is just going to be rolled into IGN.
And then, but is IGN going to cut down on its gaming stuff?
where is that from? I haven't
don't
read that. I'm curious. Is that
I'm
the
not with
document now?
you guys on that part. I think they will still have the IGN site with all the staff, and then just have a small part esports.
IGN is just going to get an influx of esports content.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So the current audience aren't going to like necessarily the new content, but IGN is still going to keep their
Main thing
current
will still
kind
be
of
regular
main-
gaming. So
Okay.
apparently,
Everything else would be completely
What
stupid.
did I just read that comment?
I don't
I
know.
wasn't meant to be on the show today.
I could be wrong also. I don't say I
Semmler,
haven't read
handle
the
it.
statement so well, but
Handle it, Semmler.
also say that I think the only reason they run IPL
taking care of
6
it.
is because they want to try to sell it. So I think they should just shut it down and
I
not
think
have
that-
IPL 6, to be honest.
Cut the
I think-
losses, or just
Yeah.
use that as marketing.
Well, we don't know about their losses. You can't speculate cut their losses.
But that's the thing. This is all speculation in any sense, because there isn't a lot of facts.
How are
to
you
any
going
of
to
this.
sell a brand that's losing money? Hey guys, you want to buy this company? Can I have a look at the books, please, for IPL? Oh,
Yeah.
You're in minus.
By the way.
You're in minus $500,000. Yeah.
Where's the Scoots one? You know, where he's
Well,
throwing
no,
money
so many
out
like
that.
it's not about necessarily making money. It's about what the buyer sees you can do with it. Because it's like you're
Yeah, of
buying,
course, but-
you're buying a car that costs. You've got to pay gas to use it. You got to pay IPL to keep running. But then you turn it into something that is profitable if they're buying it or what. But I mean, what are you saying? Like, where's? Can you bring that up?
Apparently, that's in the
document.
main article. Yeah, Polygon.com. Or in the main article is that IGN will be rolling everything into IGN, or IPL. They'll take IPL's content and roll that into IGN.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think there's a buyer in this space.
For IPL right now?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Unless it's someone that just doesn't know what they're doing. But IPL was
A lot of
kind
those out there.
built on people that half knew what they were doing, and then they did pretty good.
So I mean, if they're going to roll IPL into IGN, then how do you sell IPL?
But
Like,
you can have it out there. It's in the bargain bin. You know, they kind of have it out on the street when you put an old couch out there on the side of the road, and you're like, college kids will probably pick it up. They're
But I
probably
mean-
thinking the same thing.
I just see they would do the same thing that GameSpot had done, but a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, GameSpot opens up an esports thing. Couldn't be. Why wouldn't it be the same thing?
It would be
for
good. I would like to see some more good.
Esports
Pick up some
section.
of the good guys from ESFI and pay them well.
Machinima are
get
going to
some
buy
nice.
it. The money that they saved for not buying own 3D.TV, Machinima
Or buying
IPL.
Yeah.
And finally, Machinima will have esport content. As opposed to their Machinima Live, which is
I
shite.
think buying own 3D
Or
was a
Machinima
better,
Versus or whatever.
buying own 3D was a better deal then.
Huh?
I would say that buying own 3D was a better deal then.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been.
well,
Go on then, Sam.
I think we can
You're in
go ahead
charge.
and keep moving
In
on from
charge.
here because now it's just pure speculation. We've gone over the article, and you guys can find the article over at polygon.com, I believe.
But also
Yes.
should be added that the problem with IPL going under, which I think that IPL 6 is the last. And it's
You
all-
actually think it's going under?
Yeah, I'm
what kind of-
95% confident.
I don't think so.
Hope it survives. That's what I can say.
I think it
Hey,
will stick around.
So
But what's
one
interest-
reason why? One reason why from each of you. Like, why do you think it's going under, and why do you think it's going to survive?
Okay, go on then. Go first.
Yeah, well, they've cut a big part of the company they bought for $650 million, which they now have sold for $100 million.
But that's News Corp.
Yeah, News Corp. So this new buyer needs to cut the losses and needs to get the ship rolling in a new
Trim the
direction.
fat.
So that's why they're cutting off things, and IPL for sure is one of those. And I think that it's just been too expensive.
No.
Aye.
David Ting, from what I can tell, brought in sponsors that did pay for stuff. He got contracts with, like Cosmopolitan and whoever it was at the Atlantic City to be able to run these events in the right places and probably not lose a shit ton of money. And he's been able to continue doing so. And I think if that project is near breaking even, which I think it actually is, through like sponsors and ticket sales and the online stuff, and it's a small team as far as I'm concerned with lots of volunteers. With a small enough team, with lots of volunteers, with breaking even enough, it's a great project which boosts a lot of traffic to the brand, IGN, and of course itself, IPL. So I think it's going to stay around, and I think they've got their run to the end of the year looking for a buyer.
Great. Then we're gonna see what happens. I think it's nice.
Also, just to mention the Capcom license, I think is one of the big things that IPL got, and is something that they can really kind of propel that. It's kind of interesting because like they're kind of on the downturn with Riot, because Riot just now is LCS and owns everything, whereas it felt like IPL used to be more beloved by the League of Legends community than MLG per se.
For sure, yeah.
But now I don't. Are they still doing like regular LOL nightly
I
broadcasts?
don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Haven't really
But
been
also
following
should
the
be added, like, if I'm right and it's going under, it's a big problem for esports in general. That during this, I would say this second peak of an era, I would say like 2005 was the last peak, and then we have the financial crisis and a lot of the esport companies going under. I would say that IPL going under now in 2013,
Celtic.
if it would happen,
Yeah.
would send a big direction
Message,
that esport is still not like
solid.
solid and some how to say it's still a very
You would have to
Infant.
say it's still
unstable
struggling.
market
It's
still, I would
struggling
say.
still.
all good. It's very good for MLG and also
Exactly.
NASL, especially
It's something
MLG.
we
I
brought
felt
up
like they've taken a lot of how to say IPL was their big rival, and if they go under,
Yeah.
MLG was shown even more strong. So
Well,
that's really
that's
good.
something we mentioned in the past shows, that MLG, obviously with the moves that they've made, they want to get a firmer hold on the North American market, and this certainly helps them with that. But I think we've kind of pointed out everything. If you guys want to find the article, you can go over to polygon.com and check it out for yourselves, give it a read through, and go ahead and tweet at Hellspawn Lord your opinions. But we'll go ahead and move on into the second subject we have here for general news today. Ralph Reichert, CEO of Turtle Entertainment, did an AMA on Reddit. And apparently the interesting bits in this AMA were Riot did not say VSL.
Do you call it armor? I call it
AMA, yeah.
AMA, AMA,
Yeah.
whatever. Fucking splitting hairs here.
Keep going.
Interesting bits. Riot did not say VSL. They have sold broadcast as well as they have sold broadcasting rights multiple times.
Well, the weird thing is, it's like I read a couple of Ralph Reichart's AMA. He's quite a nice guy. Like, he wasn't originally the CEO. That was Jens Hilgers. But Jens Hilgers,
It's an AMA.
Is it? I
No.
call it AMA. Armor. I don't know. Well, I don't think he was the original CEO. But anyway, he's a smart
He
guy.
came from
He's
SK.
a nice guy. But the weird thing about ESL is like someone asked. I think it was Red Eye asked some of the industry people asked questions, and one of my questions would have been, did you take private personal money from Intel employees as investment, as opposed to Intel directly, and how did you keep your company alive, and how many people did you have to fire? Between
So all the
between
nitty-gritty.
this year and this year, which would have the big year when they were like 114, I think when they were down a lot more. But the Riot not saving them thing, I think Riot didn't save them. I think they would have kept going, but I think Riot made them very fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
That's a huge fucking contract. In terms of selling broadcast rights, ESL have this kind of model where they end up kind of doing we're ESL, here's our Polish partner, here's our different area, different partners, and they have sold broadcast rights, but it's nothing that's really brought any attention to anything huge. I think the last time I heard anything big was Eurosport were doing stuff with ESL, I believe. That was the biggest broadcasting rights that I've ever heard out of them, and Joe Miller was going into the Sky studio, whatever studios that it was on, and then doing some voiceovers and stuff. But yeah, I'm just impressed ESL is still around. But this year they look fucking fantastic. I think they've got a fucking great year this year. With you got your Riot stuff, you got a really good EMS coming in,
Great
into
quality.
Extreme
CS:GO and Dota
Masters.
2 picking up as well.
Yeah, it's ESL have survived the worst times, and I think this is going to be a great year for them.
Agreed. I will just comment on this, that some background should be said. That first of all, Ralph is that kind of guy that hasn't been kind of in the public.
Yeah.
Normally, he's a CEO that is not shown. He's not like Sundance or David Fing or Robert or anyone else in this industry. Most people wouldn't recognize him most likely at the event. And also it's interesting that this AMA for me was forced because of the prize money issue that was occurred last week.
Well, I don't think it was forced, but they said we're announcing we're paying back the money, and then it was something smart to do.
They only
to
said they're like a month
woo the
behind
community
on prize money now that they've caught up.
Yeah, but I think that this AMA was
It's just
one
part
of the
of
big
good
reasons
PR.
was because of that.
Yeah, but you also know that Red Eye is one of these people that...
Yeah, I think it's Red Eye's idea, and Red Eye was like, "This will make us look fucking good."
Yeah,
You
yeah,
do
Red
an
Eye's
AMA.
like social media guy, he's
Yep.
a smart kid.
Of course, and also interesting,
Kid.
Is he older than you? Yeah.
He's a kid.
it should be
And
said.
wise.
It should be remembered also, who Ralph is and where he come from. So he founded SK Shred Commando because his brother was one of the best Kane, the best German Quake world player back in the 90s. And
Ralph came from Quake World as well.
Yeah, he played himself also,
Yeah.
but his brother was like
And
one of the absolute best.
his other brother was a really good footballer in the German league.
Yeah, that's true.
I think so, yeah.
I think Kane was also.
I think it was Kane, maybe.
Something
Yeah.
in the
Who knows?
Anyway,
Who cares?
so Ralph together with Alex Müller, who's now
In
running SK, founded both first SK and then ESL, and then more or less they switched the roles. So Alex took over SK, he was more of the ESL guy, and then it was Ralph who was more SK guy, went to ESL because it suited
A lot
them
of
better.
the leagues and the kind of tournament structures and how it all kind of got down to tournament formats was done actually by, I believe, Alex. I say a lot, I don't know how much, but I remember being told that at the beginning when they were doing stuff, it was Alex Miller from SK that was laying down the concepts for a lot of the projects that they were
He's
going
doing
to
the
do.
groundwork.
So I mean, Ralph is one of those guys. He's a gamer. He's been within the industry the longest than anyone, I would say. And
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
I mean, like you said, ESL surviving all of these kind of shifts within the industry, and I think 2013 is like their strongest year, maybe ever.
Okay.
Looks really good for them. So I don't know what came out of this. I didn't go through it, but I think it's cool that they're doing it though.
All right, there you go. You can read it. Ralph Reichart's AMA for Turtle Entertainment, which is the company behind ESL and ESL TV.
Yeah, now the CEO of Turtle Entertainment. Go check out the Reddit AMAs, AMAs, if you want to get more. All right, so I believe our last topic for the general news tonight is going to be, before last, GameSpot is looking for a head of esports. who wants to become Slasher's boss? Now, I was going to say that
Well, I
sounds
just,
like the job
yeah,
is
but
kind
like,
of-
I just want to say what Mike said. I should go for the job, get it, and then fire Slasher,
And then quit.
and then quit.
Yeah.
I think that would be brilliant. I think that would be a real
I
shrewd
think
move.
so, man.
So GameSpot, head of
Poor Slasher.
esports, Slasher's boss, fire him,
Like
and
they
then
want
and then quit. and come
10
back.
years of gaming experience, 5 years of esports.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
I've got
know.
it.
Hopefully they'd find someone not retarded.
I wonder what it means. Like,
Well, who
You
would
know,
you put up there? Who would you put up for this to fill this kind of post? Like ideally, for
David
each of-
Ting, maybe.
David Ting. Yeah. He might be looking.
I
around.
don't think he has 5 years experience in esports though, actually. So David Ting is not
Doesn't
a
even
viable
qualify. He's
He's
candidate,
almost got
actually.
two.
But you don't need to fill all these criteria to be valid. No, but I think
Thanks,
I wonder
Hellspawn.
what it means. Like, are they?
They're
It
expanding.
sends the signals that they would do even more. You know, that they're expanding into esports, and that's really good. I think that Slasher, with what he's done, has been really great. I think though that he could have reached out even further within the esports section, and like you mentioned before, that maybe he's kind of esport news hasn't been that receiving good
Yeah.
on GameSpot's readers for the GameSpot readers. So I don't know. Maybe Slasher would be the head of esports. Who knows?
No.
Slasher. You could say that. He's got the experience. He's been around for
I
a
don't
while.
think people would put Slasher in charge of anything apart from journalism and being mischievous. That's a great job.
Yeah, there you go, man. Fits the bill.
Oh,
No?
looks like he wants it.
Huh? Me?
Looks like he wants it.
If I wasn't doing this, I don't know what I would do in esports. I just want to point at things and
Just have them be done.
and have them be done.
Yeah.
I'm trying to implement that system here, but it doesn't work.
Hey, this sounds
So
pretty
you
good. man. You don't
point,
even have
point
to
to
do anything,
something,
really.
Slasher runs, and then that's
Exactly.
it.
You're just like, go to this event.
Yeah.
You write this article. I'm gonna go here. and
But
play
yeah,
PoE.
it's hey Mingles, how you doing?
Yeah,
You wanna not
completely.
show your bum to the camera,
All right,
Mingles?
we'll take this opportunity to move on to our last topic of the general news tonight, which is going to be Mad Catz CS:GO drama. Dun dun dun. Apparently, the plug was pulled on GoTV during the tournament, as well as a statement was released by Heaven Media, the organizers of the tournament, regarding this. So, I'm not too familiar actually with what was going down. I was watching the stream, but not while this happened. Hellspawn, do you have any more info on this?
I've just followed a little bit because it's CS:GO. It's always interesting to see what Heavy Media is doing. Also,
Mm-hmm.
I think that originally it was like they had an agreement with the streamers. I think it was Richard Lewis.
Wasn't it the Russian streamers? Exactly
No,
right.
I think it was Richard Lewis commenting or tweeting or something about it, that they had an agreement that on the mainstream there were no other languages allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put passwords on the servers or something like that because of something else. And then it went out with a big
Yeah, I
drama
thought
or something
they-
like that. I think Star Ladder stream went
Yeah.
into a mainstream kind of game or featured game. And then I think this went public faster than they could solve it internally. Like, you know, I think also that the tournament had some really major issues. Like it was like 9 hours delayed or something. I read what HLTV was writing. At least they were playing longer than expected. So it seems like the event itself wasn't that smooth. Also, I would say that I read this HLTV blog. I don't remember who wrote it. But
Roost, apparently?
I mean, there has been a fight between HLTV and Cadred for so many years. And like they really hate the guts of both sides. And I think that this blog that Rooster wrote, even if the facts are right, I think it's so that it's based on, like, you know, bad blood from back, like, you know, from the past. So I don't think that I take this blog with a wishy-washy.
With a grain of salt, I think.
Yeah, but of course, I mean, Cadred has been kind of a vocal site and, you know, going after teams and tournaments and personalities. And now when their mother company is running something, of course they will get something back, because if, like, you talk big, you also get hit big, kind of. But it seems like the event itself wasn't that great the first day, and then they solved it out. And when I follow it, it seems to run smooth.
Yeah, I was
But
watching as well.
I think that, like, I think even games went on when the mainstream went home to sleep and stuff like that,
Oh,
which is really bad.
that sounds
Was
like
it
more of a-
Yeah,
Face It?
that
Yeah,
was,
it
it was
was
on that
Face It,
channel. Yeah.
That's a big That's a big move for Face It, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Face it was really big. I don't know if it was good or bad. I can't really say.
They got
at
the
least they had
numbers.
casters and they had an analytic part with it. So
Yeah. Well, they were going the whole 9 yards with the casters, and they had their analytical desk, and the games were smooth. At
Did
least
they
the
have
ones that I
Jay,
watched.
that English guy, the ginger?
They had a ginger. I don't know. If he
Actually, I
was
don't
English
know
or not.
who were the two main casters. I know that Fred
Richard Lewis was
was
cast.
there.
yeah,
Richard
yeah.
Lewis was there.
I heard Jay, and Jay is this English caster that used to work at Multiplayer. He's a bit
Could be,
weird.
yeah. Could be.
One time I sat down, we had a curry with him once, and he was offering me a job. And it was,
You were insulted.
well, I didn't mind being offered a job, but unfortunately the job was that people were putting things on DVD these days, and he had a business where they would send in their VHSs, and then he'd put it over the DVD. He offered me a job doing that. I'm like, what? I don't know, and he wasn't joking either. He's like really fucking serious. He was
like,
like,
I want you to manage this.
He's like a Del Boy. If you ever, like a
Del
Del
Boy?
Boy from Only Fools and Horses. Fuck it, my stories are shit.
Sorry.
But it wasn't for me.
But I
Thanks,
think that
Dickhead.
Heavy Media's they did 1 or 2 events, and I think that they came out better. And this event seems to have a lot of problems with it.
Attacking. Why would you do that?
They seem to be coming along all right. I mean, getting better eventually, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, not too much info on that apparently. But I think what I'd heard was that it was actually Russian casters that had gotten in, and then it was the Russian scene that had raised a cry when their casters got pulled out or something like that. Whatever. Point being, a lot of drama. You can find the info on cadred and hltv.org. But I think that brings us to a close here in our general news category, unless somebody has something they'd like to add, a topic they'd like to bring up. No?
No, I think everything has
No.
been covered splendidly. Well done.
Fantastic.
Well done, everybody.
All right, then we're going to take a quick break
Golf clap. Don't break
as
the
we
shit.
get the ready for our StarCraft 2 section. So, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right.
Oh, we're
All
back.
right, we're back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 32nd episode of The Good Show here at The Good Studio. My name is Semmler. Joining me on my left is Too Good.
I'm not
and-
wearing women's clothing, by the way.
And he is not. Don't worry. It's just
I did a few
unisex.
times when Apollo was out. Went through all his room.
Couldn't find shit, could you?
And loads. When I go shopping, right, I just walk through and I just pick stuff up and buy it. I don't really care to try it on or anything. I don't think this one went particularly good. You have to be really good looking to pull this off. I just look, I don't know. It's great.
Oh, it's this theme you're running, right?
Still better than you, Summer, so don't even start.
Oh, big words, big words. Maybe we get a haircut first and we can talk. All right.
I shave my balls.
We got our guys. Yeah, did you? Lasered? All right,
I
we
use
got our
your-
guys in
I
the
use your
corner.
shaver.
Our guys in the corner, we're going to completely fucking negate this. Guys in the corner, Apollo, Adebisi, and Hellspawn here for the StarCraft 2 section. Of course, Apollo is the man regarding the game, so we'll get him started. If he wants to add a comment on this, Soul Key loses 2-3 to Tasia in the GSL round of 8, and MC loses 2-3 to Roro. So we have one Zerg losing to a Terran, but then the Zerg winning against the Protoss. Does that mean anything to you?
It's really difficult to focus because I'm looking at James, expecting James to speak it to me.
Would you like me to explain some about my outfit? What I'm
Yeah,
wearing
go ahead.
today, like the Oscars.
Could you undo a button?
This is the top, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, there's
One button, please.
For any of you wondering.
There
You
go,
know,
mate.
the longer the show goes on, you can undo more buttons.
Is it? We got to get through the StarCraft segment pretty soon because Vengeance.
Oh
is
no,
gonna
we're
be
fucking this
starting.
one too, and Trance is upstairs, so...
All right, well done, Apollo, for coming down. You thought it was a Dota 2 segment. You called Mike a prick. You lost the
I
game.
had to quit a ladder game.
lost your
I don't
ladder
like-
points,
I don't
man.
like that.
Like everyone thinks you're the nicest guy
Bad
in the world,
mannered.
just like Day 9, but off camera,
Fucking asshole.
just like Day 9.
That's not true.
Oh, but
either
actually, no,
of
Day
us.
9's nice. Yeah, that's right.
Daylight's nice and so am I. We're both nice people. Why would you...
Sure you are. Sure you are.
I think I'm the nicest person in this room.
Nice shoulder pads, by the way.
Yeah, just in case I beat you up if you call me nasty again. They're loaded. Anyway,
you got the
on
guns for it
topics. On topic, come on. Let's not do this again.
Yeah, no.
On topic, so Tasia losing, winning against Sulky. That was, for me,
Huge upset.
a major upset. A massive Tasia fan. Tasia's been disabled, broken down, not playing,
Wrists.
wrist problems, major wrist problems. Has not participated in the Pro League for quite a while now, a couple of weeks, properly at least. And for him to come out and beat one of the top Casper Zergs, even he was, very, very surprised at that win. It was a big
He looked
upset.
really happy, man. I watched the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he believed he could do it.
He was leading, lost loads in a row, and finally took. Was it the final match?
Yeah, it went to 2-2 then.
Yeah, and then won. And but it's the comeback from the RSI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's huge.
I don't even know if he's come back from it yet. I think he's
Yeah.
still having treatment for it. So
Yeah.
I know that he tweeted yesterday or today saying that it's hard to practice for his upcoming games. I think it's tomorrow, if not a couple of days' time. But anyway, his semi-final, because no one
28th.
plays Wings of Liberty.
Wait, I think 28.
Because all his training partners, all the people on the ladder that he usually plays against, everyone's playing Heart of the Swarm, so he is finding
Just
it hard
practice
to
your builds
practice.
versus the computer.
Who's
That's
he
what I do.
playing?
It's Roro.
Cole?
He's playing versus
Yeah.
Roro on the first.
Okay, yeah. And Roro, of course, Pro League, they still have tons of people playing Wings of Liberty, so it's actually a pretty big advantage
Yeah.
going into semifinals and finals to be on a
If you were
Casper team.
to put Tasia against Sulky, and then the winner was to play, and Tasia, if he won, was to play against Roro, I wouldn't put him through neither. So I don't think he can beat Roro.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
it's gonna be
Roro's a scary motherfucker.
really, really
Is
difficult.
that his name? Roro.
Roro.
Yeah, Roro.
R-O-R.
You both-
That's a
Roro, the
really
Roro.
shit name.
Capital R, little O, capital R,
Well,
little O.
I mean, we might as well say, you got any comments regarding the MC match?
Why is that so seductive?
I don't think that's as big.
I'm staring into your eyes.
I was kind of surprised MC took 2 maps. Like, I kind of see Roro as like one of the best, maybe the best Wings of Liberty Zerg now. Like, he's definitely top 3 in my mind. So, but I mean, MC's kind of just been so back in form. I think clearly the IM house is paying off.
I agree.
You want to go out?
James is letting Mingles out. She was clawing at the door. She's been
Yeah,
set
but otherwise,
free.
not really too much to say about GSL. Definitely, I think a lot of people kind of lost some interest in it because so much focus on Heart of the Swarm. But I mean,
Exactly.
going into the semifinals and finals, I think it's definitely going to be really, really good.
Yeah, I think there'll be a good amount of eyeballs, not as many as the previous seasons, just because there is so many people not just kind of
Yeah.
left Wings of Liberty. They don't care for it as more.
A ZVZ finals is
ZVZ
also
finals
pretty
is
likely
very
too.
likely to happen. So
All right.
again,
Well, we can say already that the 2 semifinals, if you guys are wondering, Symbol versus Curious will be played on the February the 28th, and Tasia versus Roro will be on the 1st of March.
okay, so the
Yeah,
other
so-
ones first.
There's going to be a lot going on there. Of course, we'll find out the finals when they happen.
So that's tomorrow and Friday, I think.
No.
After
No?
tomorrow. Yeah, after
Day after
tomorrow.
tomorrow
So
and
Thursday will be the first
Thursday and
semifinal.
Friday then.
Thursday and Friday. And then, so we can go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is, of course, going to be IEM map pool has been released.
Can I start on that one?
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
let's
go.
go.
ahead, Hellspawn. Go on, big boy.
You'll probably
Um,
start and finish. Hellspawn a few times.
I think it was kind of
Especially
smart to
sitting
actually
somewhere.
keep like the standard old map pool and then add 3 new maps from Heart of Swarm into it. I don't know about the quality of the Heart of Swarm maps. Overall, seems to be not the best map pool at the point, but I guess they choose the best maps. I think isn't it like a 9 map pool?
It's pretty
It's like
redonkulous.
9 or 11,
And
I think.
how to say, first they changed the game or like into the expansion, and most likely you can comment more on it, but I would assume at least that Heart of the Swarm on Antigua is a different game than Wings of Liberty on Antigua.
Yeah.
So more or less the guys going to Seabit have to practice 9 maps, and I know for a fact that that's too many maps. I would say 7 is the best. 5 has been like the standard for a long time, for example at DreamHack. I think 9 is a little bit over the top, but I do like they keep the old map pool and add in 3 maps. I don't know how the elimination system will work. I think they can eliminate quite a lot of maps.
I think ESL were probably one of the first tournaments to do a veto in StarCraft, because it always used to be preset and then loser picks.
DreamHack has always done it. Sorry.
Well, real quick,
ESL's been
what
up
do you,
there
what do
as
you guys
well.
make of the 3 maps that they did pick, the Heart of the Swarm maps, which are Akalon Wastes,
Isn't it Akalon Flats they picked?
Newkirk's,
Clone Wastes.
Akalon
Waste is the
Wastes,
hot one. Flats, I think, is
Yeah.
the Wings one.
Didn't
Newkirk
they choose
City,
Flats?
It's Waste. He's
Star
got-
Station,
changed.
sorry. But like, do you guys think that those were good picks to bring in as far as like?
Isn't Star Station also
Wall?
Force Cross?
Uh,
They edited that
Yeah,
in,
there's
didn't
notes
they?
on team. Yeah, actually, it's at the bottom there.
So-
It's right here, yeah. It's
From what I
cross-position
can
only.
see, I don't know if this is their mentality going into it, is that they've obviously got a bit of backlash with choosing Hots over Wings. And then I don't know if they were like, well, let's try and keep some consistency and have the older maps. I don't know if that was their thought process going into it. If it is, then I don't think that was the right one to go by. If you're going to go in, then you go fully. You
ESL
go
always been
with.
pretty crap with decisions.
Well, it's pretty hard to balance when you announce HOTS so late and then the map pool. But I mean, I feel like there's some stuff like Antigua Shipyard just fucking
Could have
done.
been
Just never again, please, for the love of
I
God.
think Metropolis could also have been maneuvered.
Yeah.
Hana can go.
Yeah, so
basically, like,
Even
all
Entomb
maps just need
Valley
to die in a
isn't
fire.
good.
And
like
we should just
Metropolis,
fully commit
is it even?
the
It's
HOTS.
not even on the Wings ladder, is it?
No.
So I mean, I have no idea
But then
possible
you've
why
got
it's
to
there.
consider that this is the grand finals of a season that's used the majority of these maps.
Yeah,
too.
but they changed the map. There's no precedent. They were changing the maps before, so I mean,
It's not the greatest map pool. Let's just put it that way. It could have been better.
But I would still expect, like, how to say, the first quarter with Heart of Swarm would have a hard time with the maps. That's just
Which
how I
one's
see
the
it at this
output,
point.
Outside of how this affects the players and how it affects the more into how it affects the viewers and the actual tournament and the prestige of it, what do you think the reception will be with? They changed it to HOTS and it was Wings of Liberty all along. They've got quite a large map pool, bunch of shit commentators.
Probably.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
but I think the switch to Heart of the Swarm for into Stream Masters is really good. It was just too late, and I'm surprised Blizzard allowed
Yeah, but
it.
like, what the viewers? What do you think?
I think they like it.
There's one angle
I
I've
think they
got.
will like it.
Yeah.
One angle that I've got when I first watched my first Heart of the Swarm game, and I'm supposing there's going to be quite a few watching for the first time in HOTS. May not be, but I think there will be some. Is when I watched HOTS for the first time on a map that I didn't know, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Because I just couldn't compare it to
yeah,
anything.
it gets very difficult. You can't.
It's I can see them doing stuff, but if I haven't got anything to reference to them, what does it mean? Are they doing good or doing bad? But when you go into a HOTS game and you see it played on a Wings Liberty map, you have a reference point. So a lot of players or viewers can look at it and be like, all right, well, this is how it used to play.
Yeah.
Now this is how it's played in this game.
Agreed.
Or at least, I think that is an advantage of having similar maps for viewers, rather than going in and be like, whoa, like just exploding. You might as well try to keep some consistency. I think that's a pretty strong point. But obviously, I would have preferred more the GSTL Pro League maps that have come out and have had a lot of games in the career scene.
I mean, ultimately, I just look at it as tournaments can't properly set their map pools if there isn't a better system with the ladder and Blizzard and Battle.net so players can play on these maps. And until that gets fixed, I feel like
That's,
every map pool, I'm just going to be like, I wish this was not
That's
how this
another point
was.
that
This is
Sase
something that we've
said
talked
to
about
me.
for quite a while. Yeah.
Sase said to me, because you played in our tournament, the King of the Hill, the other day, and he said to me, are there shit maps? I'm like, no. We picked them. Oh, he picked them. Sorry. He picked them. He
can-
picked
you
them.
can
And he
have
goes,
some
no,
of
I
the
don't
glory."
mean good or bad maps, but are there maps that I've played or not played? Because he wanted maps that had been on the ladder. He
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
care what maps they were, good or bad, but if he played on the ladder, he was more inclined to play in the tournament. I said, yeah, well, 3 out of the 4 maps in the tournament itself, you play on the ladder, and the 4th one's from Pro League, which you've probably seen anyway. It was like, oh,
GSTL,
Okay.
but-
GSTL. So that, I think, is another point.
Well,
to
this
put
is something
across.
that we've been talking
It
about.
must be
for quite
really
some time.
hard though, Blizzard adding that line of code in. I mean, I want more profile pictures.
I just want the maps to
I
be
want more
consistent.
levels.
Well,
I don't ask for
I
a
don't
lot.
agree with you. I want always the maps to be changing, but in a
It
good
should be
rhythm.
like a 2-3 month cycle.
Yes.
For
Well,
new
that's-
maps to come in, smaller map pools, like
Yeah.
a 5 map, so you actually consistently see them. The
Isn't that
metagame
bad? Well, that's
develops.
the problem.
Like I will
you
lose
could
my
veto
shit.
when you queued, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Is that
You
correct?
still
can,
can.
you
You
can,
still
yeah.
can.
Well, that's the problem with StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, is towards the end of the era that we're still in right now, is that the game is very stagnant. It's played very similarly. You can, as a caster, even a lesser skilled commentator can probably predict what's going to happen because he's seen and watched, played thousands of games, right? So it's
Yeah,
very
you're doing very
obvious.
well at that.
I know, that's the only reason I'm good. Because I just copy other people's work and put it into my own. But the point I'm trying to get across is that in Brood War, and in the Pro Leagues, the maps change every couple of months. It refreshes the game, new
I
strategies,
agree with
new
that
builds.
point. It would be more refreshing. Anyway, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good IEM discussion, everybody. Well done.
Good job.
5 points to all of you.
Yay! And you get a
Winning.
star.
Huh? I get a star?
You get a gold star, I guess. All right.
Where is it?
Well, Adebisi, you're going to be happy to know that they're nerf batting your race again. Hellbat Hellion transformation now requires an upgrade. Something I found out on the ladder earlier, to my dismay.
Apollo.
Sorry.
So apparently, Factory Tech Lab is required in 150, 150, and 110 seconds to.
Yeah,
research.
I mean, the important thing to note here is just that it's actually, when they announced the change, everyone thought it was like you can't make Hellbats unless you get the upgrade, but it's actually, you can still make them, you just can't transform them. So
You have to make
it's not the
straight
big
Hellbats.
nerf everyone thought it was, but it just gives a lot more wiggle room in the early game. So it's just, game keeps getting patched.
Yeah, I don't think it changes too much, to be honest.
What it changes is when I'm watching some of these silly tournaments that are cast from replays, and they're weeks old. It's kind of
Some that,
annoying.
Yeah, and
You're gonna have-
some leagues that you may watch in the mornings in Europe time that think it's on one patch and it's on another, so there's a bit of complications gone around with that. And that's the only difficulty I've had with the recent patch change.
just
MLG
not
are
getting
doing stuff
confused,
off
man.
replays recently, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
dig right in there, James.
yeah, really.
Didn't they load the wrong game?
They've done a lot of things.
Well, they've done a lot of that, yeah.
It's pretty amazing. isn't it?
Because I was looking forward to seeing MC versus Alive, and then they put on Dongregu versus
know, I
Jockchi.
mean,
So I rewatched
Alright.
10 minutes of that, and then got to see MC
We
versus
did,
Alive.
we obviously give MLG a bit of stick last time. You have, I mean, it's only fair.
We've got plenty of stick
IPL
to give.
We've got lots of stick around here. There's plenty of trees, and we've
Dude,
got
it's a
some to
house with
give.
9 guys in it. There's nothing but
IPL,
stick.
we're doing a team league, and they also casted a wrong. They thought it was another player when it wasn't.
Yeah, they thought it was.
What, Flying in Rain?
It was
No, that's
they
MLG.
thought a Zerg player on FXO was ASD, so they cast an entire game calling it was an FXO
It was
Zerg.
It wasn't the parting one, was it?
No, that's MLG itself. That's MLG.
That was
MLG
That
as
was
well.
MLG. Parting
Oh,
game.
the party versus fine.
Oh, there you go. Party
But
versus
this
Flying.
one was.
It-
They just messed up a name.
Yeah.
Casted a game
But they did
as
it
a different
again,
player who
That's
plays a
not-
different race, basically.
And what happened when they loaded the wrong replay? Did they cast it for a bit? Or
Which?
did they just...
What? Oh,
the
in
recent
IPL?
one, MLG.
So MLG.
No, that was a
we took-
VOD. It was like a
yeah.
pre-recorded
Yeah.
VOD that they were airing.
And they casted
so-
the entire thing as a different player.
with the flying versus party.
that's not good.
Yeah.
They
But-
just can't stop, man.
Going back to the point, the only thing that worries me, I think that maybe Blizzard have nailed it almost, but it feels like with the new, like Heart of the Swarm, they've had a lot of troubles getting the new units and how
Are
to.
you saying Blizzard have nailed the game in balance?
The game is balanced after 2.5 years of
Comes
having to
from
adjust
fucking
Wings of Liberty.
Hellspawn.
Hellspawn gives
Like-
Heart of the Swarm the
No.
balance.
Just
of
want to
Right,
say,
that's not what I
guys,
said.
everybody out there,
That's not what I
Blizzard
said.
have nailed it. It's fucking beautiful.
But we know which way DreamHack's heading for this year. It's
Yeah.
definitely Heart of the Swarm.
That's not what I meant. What I meant was that it felt like when they started to release the beta of Heart of the Swarm, it was really shit, and they had some like major problems, and they, removed this unit, reswapped this unit. Didn't feel like they had a whole plan when starting with the new units and how they would work. Seems like it got better. The game seems to be great at this point. At least what I hear from people.
I was expecting
But
it to get
still,
worse.
I'm a little bit worried, when they change around, especially with this unit. Seems to be a problem for them.
I love you. You're just like the ultimate casual StarCraft gamer. Even I wouldn't even bother fucking commenting on this shit. The result of just sounding like a retard. You're like there going, yeah, this one unit that I've seen on Reddit a few times.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
that really worries me. I was going to email.
And
But
there's
no,
no
I mean,
Justin Brown or
anymore, so it must
more
be
rocks
okay.
and less
But-
Hellbats.
but-
This is
my-
why
my-
I'm quiet in the StarCraft 2 segment. Just shut the fuck up.
It's
Let
a
those
fucking
guys
view
do it.
of how to design a game. It's like Diablo, they changed the combat system and the loot system and the item system 3 times. It ended up not as great as it should have been. It
We
was
saw
crap.
you play Demon Hunter.
Yeah, but it was not good. A sorcerer should not
You
have
mean
an axe.
Demon Hunter? Or-
It's like,
Right.
it's the same thing. You nail it. Either you know what you're doing and you nail it from the beginning, or you change. It might not come out.
No,
in
an
a good way.
RTS game, you're always anyway.
The meta is always changing. The players are always going to come with something
Hey,
new.
yeah,
We've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
that for
Hellspawn.
2 years.
Hellspawn,
of
new
WoW
lead
now.
balance designer.
Artosis is going to be ill for the next state of the game.
Get him in
Have they
there.
contacted you yet? All right.
I'll join you.
Me in that show? No.
It took a while to click that one, didn't it?
All right. Squirtle joins LGIM.
All right, so this is
Free agent
pretty
gets picked
big,
up.
to be
Yeah.
honest. Squirtle, of course, being one of the best Protoss players, hyped a little bit more than he actually is. I feel just Artos' favourites, but he still is definitely like top 5 Protoss. And him joining LGIM, we've already seen what they did in the GSTL preseason, just smashed it. Like, hardly looked even close to losing a game. And that only strengthens their squad, and it really is
They're just
strong.
becoming the powerhouse.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
the ESF.
you know, you have EG that's meant to be that team, and then you have LGIM who are that team.
Right.
No offense to EG.
I think what's
course
most
not.
interesting about this move to me, though, is that when he left StarTap, everyone was like, oh, Casper team.
Yeah,
And, oh,
exactly.
maybe a 4
Seeing-
team.
seeing something
So
like
to
Barton.
see him go to LGIM is interesting because you figure he's wanting a bigger salary, he's wanting whatever. You saw Parting, what he's getting. So it's just interesting, kind of, I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
think that he got a so much bigger salary or so on because
No.
I mean LGIM have had some problems and they've been vocal about it. So I think exactly what you said. He left Startail because of maybe some reasons within Startail, and then tried to go to Kespa, tried to go foreign team, ended up in another
He's
ESF
probably
team.
a genius. He could probably design anything. He just chose to play StarCraft with a minimal salary. He probably is rich anyway. Have you not seen him
Squirtle?
play? Yeah. He's an intelligent guy. He could probably do anything he wants to in this world.
Could be an astronaut, maybe.
Could
Where
be
is
an
this coming
astronaut
from?
easily.
You should give like talks to children at
Yeah,
school.
you really should.
With
I
this.
mean, this sounds
You
like
don't-
really
you don't
You
need
go
to
inspiring
follow
out,
them
right
anything
now.
you want to.
Yeah. And I
Anything
think
you put your
him
mind to.
joining LGIM is going to be really good for his career. LGIM were always considered like top 2 easily.
You're looking
Sorry,
at
there's an
pictures.
image. Just the hard of you'll
Can I have a
find it
look?
maybe.
Can I have a
He
look?
closed it.
Oh, come on, show me.
It's not, it's not that one.
Can I have a look? Is it Semmler?
Hellspawn approved.
Wait, what? Hellspawn approved.
I think you can bring up my screen
Anyway,
if
so
you
what I
want.
was saying, as you can
Boom.
see this, is that LGM were always like definitely up there as the top team, but now they're officially, in my opinion, the best StarCraft
Yeah, I
team
think it's
that
kind of
is worldwide.
undisputable now. Like,
Because
you
they had the rivalry, you know, FXO won the GSTL, and then StarTail were always amazing, but now StarTail,
They've lost their 2 big punchers.
they've lost it, and they won't compete with LGM, and they are the best team in the world. In the world. In the world,
Big
James.
words.
I thought
Really?
EGTL was the best team in the world.
For StarCraft, yes.
You think
No.
LGIM is the best?
Yeah, you tell me who's better.
I say SKT1 without
SKT1.
knowing anything.
Without knowing anything.
That'll be one day when the two ESF and Kesper fight against each other. One day we'll find that out, Hellspawn.
Yeah.
But until
And
then, LGIM's the
I think
best.
it'll be a bit of a lag too with the Kespa teams going into HOTS because they've been still focused very much on Pro League. EGTL is kind of the one that has all their players playing HOTS, and you can kind of see in the. I mean, they were
destroyed.
never destroying it in Pro League,
Is
but
that
now
coming up
they're
in the
getting
document?
destroyed. What?
EG's
Doing bad?
performances.
I don't think so. Who cares?
I was going to say something, but
Maybe-
So what
I
are you
don't
gonna
know.
say?
Who
I'm
is-
just going to keep it to my personal
All right,
screen.
so we'll
which
go
is the
ahead
best
and
SK? I don't know
move
which-
on.
The host wants to move on.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on from this. So, speculation aside, good times. Congratulations to Squirtle for getting picked up. Excuse me. GSTL HOTS preseason concludes, and IM, speaking of which, has won.
All right, let's go back to LGIM then.
Yeah.
So they are the best team in the world.
So,
what was
apart
that
from
you were
that,
saying?
They are the best team in the world.
I think we should go ahead and hop
Hellspawn,
into
what
the
do you
next
think
one.
about Heartless One?
To be honest, I really, commend them for their
Why
efforts.
did I not read that
in-
before fucking reading it out?
Just
on
go to the
fucking
next
thing?
one. I've already got it loaded.
I was going to
Quantic.
talk about other
Quantic
stuff like
Gaming,
Axiom and Acer. Fuck
Okay,
you.
yeah, go on. Talk
GSTL.
about them. Talk about them.
go
I
ahead.
want to listen.
You want to move on?
No, I
Go
don't
ahead.
want to move on.
As long as it
I'm
doesn't
the king
include the
skipper
letters
here.
I and M. Handle
Well,
it.
IGM are the best team, but to talk about the league, I quite enjoyed GSTL. I thought there was a lot of good games that came out from players that obviously switched to HOTS a lot earlier than the others. I think that Axiom and Acer put up a valiant fight against LGIM. Unfortunately, they lost, of course. But we saw some really good games, and I enjoyed it, and that's my thought.
Do you have anything
Nice.
to add, Adebisi?
I liked his thought. His thought was
It's like
great.
group
That was
therapy.
deep enough.
I'm glad Apollo are
How does
like,
that make you
entertained.
feel?
Huh? Sorry, Hellspawn, I missed.
Sorry.
I don't
like
need
your
anyone to
entertain.
entertain me, man. I entertain myself all day long.
QuanticGaming.com. Our new adventure begins in 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. Let's go ahead and
What
throw
is
it over
this?
to
Quantic
James.
Gaming what?
No, we're going to
This
see
is-
here.
this is
Let's throw it over to
Quantic
James'
Zombies.
PC, and we can go ahead and take a look at it together. But
Okay.
QuanticGaming.com has come back, and they've taken James's game's name.
Yeah, everyone's
Nice.
fucking doing that. Seriously, Reborn's like...
They're going into FPS.
Dude, when I did Reborn, no one was doing Reborn, and now it's like that. We did a game on the show, and it was like Space Combat Reborn, Quantic Reborn. It's fucking annoying.
It's not like it's like an actual word out there in the vocabulary that people can use.
Have you claimed the name yet?
I've got a website, yeah.
He's gonna copyright it.
A website? Have you claimed the name?
What?
Press play.
The brand?
Claimed everything.
We already saw the video. We don't need to see
I
the video.
stuck a flag
Keep
in
scrolling
it, drank a cup of tea, said,
And hit play.
Oh, hit play.
There you
Wait.
go.
I don't know what we're watching.
Wait,
This is
sound.
the older
were
video.
We
right.
don't need to
Again.
see this
Is this
video
a Viagra?
again.
Yeah, don't press
commercial?
play. Press pause.
Pause.
Press pause.
Pause.
Go
Alright,
down.
just let's go down. They had a
Go
countdown,
down.
and they're supposed to be launching.
What?
Our new adventure starts in 0000.
It happened.
Well, check their progress.
Wait. Yeah, check out our progress. Open me. We are here.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to bookmark this page.
I'm confused now.
I want to come back to this
What
tomorrow.
happens tomorrow?
Well, any second now. Any second
But
now.
I don't understand. They have a countdown and they are 70. I don't.
Hellspawn
get it.
doesn't get it.
Their
This
new
is not
adventure.
Hellspawn approved.
Hellspawn.
But do you get it?
I think the point is they fucked up.
That's it, man. Somebody done fucked up,
Oh, they fucked up.
and that's all we can really
Again.
take away from this.
Why couldn't I watch the video?
Oh, it's old. It's
Who
like a
cares
couple
about the
weeks.
It's
video?
like, oh my god, Quantic coming back.
All right. Yeah. So basically, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Hellspawn didn't get it.
What are we-
Hellspawn versus the chat. It's going down.
I don't know, dude. I'm sorry I picked on you earlier. I've maybe started something.
Maybe.
If you undo another button, maybe that will make up for it.
Probably.
What's
So
next?
next topic is that the beta is ending. Apparently, Apollo and Adebisi going to
Versailles. It's French.
okay.
That
So-
says Versailles, yeah?
Yes, that is.
So how are you having problems reading it?
Well, I don't know because it's just
You're French.
there. Yeah. So beta's ending.
Beta.
Beta.
Sorry, beta.
It'll be interesting though because I don't know. They haven't said anything about keeping it up for like Master League and Grandmaster players, so like these pro gamers can practice for IEM. So
MLG.
it's kind of scary.
But they didn't have
Hotch
some.
launch.
They had some special for Cebit, right?
Yeah, they do. But also with their press release with CeBIT, Carmack said that the Intel Hall at CeBIT will be the only place
In the world.
where you can
the
play Heart of the
world.
Swarm.
Yeah, but you were supposed to be able to play between the 1st and the 5th coming into Cebit, as I understood it, like special accounts.
Yeah,
where
well, that's
did you
what
hear
they
that?
said.
I didn't. They said they were like looking into that.
But they
Carmack
never
commented on
confirmed
Reddit.
it.
They were like, "Yeah, we're looking to work with Blizzard on that." So I mean, they haven't
Because
said anything publicly. I hope it happens.
I saw someone tweeting to someone. I think it was like some Western Wolf guy tweeting to Sase, you can get the special account.
Well, that's good. I hope Blizzard does that because if not, that's bad.
But we don't know because we're not Blizzard or a player.
Or pro players, yeah.
All right, cool, great. Beta's ending. Fucking brilliant.
And we're going to France.
Game's coming out.
I'm going to
Is that
France.
announced?
Is that
Yeah.
announced?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a little bit strange. It was like
Okay.
pictures.
Oh,
I
wait.
didn't get it.
So you
Oh, it's on their website now. That
it's,
was,
it's announced that you guys are out and about.
Going to France.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
Yes.
Grubby,
Fine.
Stefano, Whiteraw, and Lucifron.
Yeah, at the European.
And then the commentators in France, have they been announced?
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything for the French
So
event has been
Artosis and
announced.
Tasteless are the main commentators, and
Yes.
you're the backup commentator.
I'm backup.
You
In case
actually-
something goes wrong.
Are you actually backup?
I don't know. Maybe.
They're just gonna have you on the afterburner because
Yeah, so they're doing like a launch party basically in Paris, and what's the date of it? Do you know?
11th?
11th. Okay,
Sorry.
cool. And it's like 4 pro players, show matches or mini tournament.
I think it's a mini tournament.
cool.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
are they doing stuff in America as well? and
Yeah,
other places?
basically they put
Yeah,
out the full
well,
schedule, and it's going to
TL.
start with the Korean event, and then there will be a little bit from the Australian event. Then it will be the Team Liquid and Day 9 launch party thing, and then it will be the European one, and then more of the Day 9 community thing, and then it will be the American one. And the American one's got Day 9 Husky, Suppy, Polt, MC, and Vibe. And the Korean one has Flash and some other good people, and Wolf and Caldor.
I was surprised that
Cool.
Tastosis came to the European event, not because I'm backup, but because they obviously have a Korean event in Korea.
yeah,
which
Wolf
is
and
a little bit
Caldor are handling
surprising.
that over
but-
Naked Tasteless. That's their turf, you would think.
But then again, if
Yeah,
you
but
if you look at the flip situation, if they did the Korea one, then would Wolf and Caldor come to the Europe one? And because Europe has a live venue, 600 fans.
Yeah, Caldor is.
Yeah, sounds
Uh,
good. though.
it's,
And it's broadcast,
it's a
obviously,
really cool
right?
venue.
Yeah.
And also,
Is
I
it,
think,
is it the same as Iron Squid 1?
I think it's the first Iron
no,
Squid
it's
venue.
not
I don't
the
know.
same. I don't think so. I could be, but I don't think so.
Because Iron
But-
Squid changed venues, and I thought it might be the one they used the first time, but I don't know.
Okay,
Maybe,
so
but
to
they,
sum it-
they put on some cool like
To sum it
hardcore
up, Blizzard,
graphic on it.
yeah, so Blizzard are basically doing a launch party with pro gamers and commentators for Heart of the Swarm in Korea, and there's going to be one in Europe, one in America,
And
etc.
Australia.
And Australia, and you're the one in Europe with Tasteless Narcosis, and the pro
Yes.
gamers were like Grubby, Stefano, White
Yes.
Raw, and
Luciferon.
Luciferon. Yeah, so it should be a good show. So
Yeah.
maybe kind of it's got obviously on Twitch, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
think, yeah.
On
I
YouTube,
assume.
probably.
Also
And Vengeance
interesting-
is starting now. I don't even know what Vengeance is. Is it just
Yeah.
like developers talking about like lore and shit?
It's they probably started the show. We probably missed it. Is that they
It started
probably
8
started
minutes
with
ago.
the trailer?
No,
as-
the trailer definitely goes at the end, man.
Oh, is it?
Lots
Well,
of
don't you think?
messages are getting
I would've been
deleted
at the
from
start.
chat. I'm not sure why. Could
The
our
mods,
mod,
the mods. What are the mods up to?
Well-
could our mod stop modding?
No, that's somebody that's actually no. Banned
But
out
yeah,
of work?
Vengeance.
Oh, it got delayed.
Mods. We didn't give you mods.
Yeah,
so
and
you
why
could
is so many...
mod.
What's the censorship here? This is no good.
It got
This isn't
delayed.
live on
Mods. We didn't give you mods so you could mod. We gave you mods so
But
you
hold
could
on,
feel
even
cool.
Weppas is getting banned as far as like.
Oh.
his
Yeah,
message,
you're getting
so what the
someone
fuck?
that's got hacked.
Maybe it's maybe
I'm just
it's-
clicking here like hell.
I just picture somebody holding click right now and clicking as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
Games
Wow, look at that.
deleted.
I
Good
reckon it's
studio
Trent's.
message deleted. What the fuck?
Hacked! You got
Yeah,
hacked!
look at it. We can bring it up on stream, even though people on stream are already aware of the chat. But yeah, look at this. Just everything's deleted.
Or
Wow.
wait, is this like an elaborate troll? Where
Oh,
everyone's
wait,
just
yeah.
entering,
It could be the
message
fucking
deleted?
chat.
Oh, they trolled you, James! They trolled you!
Fucking brilliant!
They trolled you! They trolled you! That's funny! That's
Yeah,
funny!
when I saw you message, when I saw the Good Studio message deleted, I was like,
Wait a second! That's funny!
fucking chat.
Fucking
That was well done.
I think that was the
good.
first
Yeah.
time the chat got us.
That was good.
No, it's like the first time the chat had been coordinated. Like, we've seen them as a angry mess of people, as I look as well on the studio. But now we've just seen their danger.
Yeah,
the
they're
potential, the potential
is
danger
there, yeah.
of when a community work together.
Imagine if some of this in the chat ever happened. They come around this house and start finding him.
Oh, I think it was only subscribers doing it.
Good job, everyone. They're congratulating each other.
I know, they're all like,
They're becoming friends. They're
No,
going to
but-
start some sort of
James.
secret organization to
I
get
think it
us
was
every week.
subscribers doing it.
Huh?
Because they took off subscription chat only, and then it
Chat
started to
wins.
flow. So it was only subscription ones doing it, so it was coordinated.
You scrubs.
Fucking coordinated, mother.
Well
They
done.
give you money, then they get back to
Well
you.
done. Well done.
Well done.
Aye.
Chat one.
So,
Good Studio Zero.
Back to
I'm like,
Vengeance.
what?
Back to
I'm like-
Vengeance.
I'm like,
What
mod,
the fuck is
stop
it?
modding. Oh yeah.
It's just Vengeance is a bunch of stuff with the Q&A with developers and
It's
Whatever,
It's developers
whatever.
talking about lore
Yeah.
and pictures and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
we
And
get
then
to
there's a
see
show
maybe,
match at the end.
Yes, great. Okay,
with me and
brilliant.
Total Biscuit.
Wonderful.
And then the debut of their Vengeance trailer, which
Yes.
is meant to be like,
The
I mean,
main
everyone
thing.
saw the last trailer and it was pretty sick. So I mean,
I think this is going to be a pretty cool trailer
yeah, I
too.
think the trailer will be cool.
I love trailers.
Yeah, sure.
Trailer park trash. Where are we going next, Semmler?
Start reading the chat somewhere.
No, I'm reading Twitter.
Stop
reading
reading
Twitter.
Twitter's
Sam,
for
I
own
hope
control.
that
Every
Tom
show.
and Tiff
no.
will be the one being on stage.
Oh,
Semler's-
in
I don't know
control.
what
In
this
control.
pertains to, but Adebisi, not checking Twitter, players will not have access to HOTS unless attending IEM. MLG event will mean next 12 days. No HOTS.
So only IM they get access at IM, or they get access
right. It
if
seems
they've
like
been
that.
if they're going to be playing there.
I
Because
think I guess it might be. I'm assuming that they've
Can you
got
scroll down to
access
where
until
control?
The tournament. So
That
they
seems like it's the only one that makes sense, doesn't it? Because you're
Yeah.
not going to have their players show up who haven't been able to practice on the client that the
I
tournament's
mean,
actually going to be held.
having access to HOTS before IM, if you're attending IM, isn't that useful because there's only 24 players going to IM, so you're going to have a ladder
Okay, here.
where you're matchmaking with 24 other players. So
They're all playing in the same tournament as you're playing in.
It's going to be at the event.
that's
mean-
awkward.
Not to be like that, but I think this gives extra value to. It was strange that Blizzard gave permission to run HOTS at CeBIT.
Yeah.
It's like strange. Okay, You can play, but only with the other 23 people that you're competing against.
That's an interesting sub-point, though. This
tournament's
means
gonna be
that-
wild,
well,
man.
The follow-up is that it means that MLG players won't have played for around 12 days unless they actually attended IM. So
I
they're
bet
gonna
someone from
show up.
IM
And
does
then
well at
4 people
MLG.
goes together and they lend out free accounts, and then you get this practice day, you get this
Yeah, they're gonna
practice
coordinate.
day. I don't know.
All right, regardless, there's a lot going on. Apollo's mic is levitating somehow. And I think you're going to go ahead and put it to use now because we're going to bring up the good studio, King of the Hill. The players have been announced.
Oh crap!
Well, they will be announced.
They will be. But I
will
forgot. I bring a piece of paper. I might be able to do it off the top of my head. All right, let me think.
I could help you. I reckon
Alright,
I know
no,
a
I got it.
couple.
Wait,
All right,
let me
so basically, let's sum this up to start with. King of the Hill series is
Wait, let me
a
do it.
4 event tournament that we put on at the Good Studio. $2,000 of our money, and also we've been scrounging from people subscribing. So thanks anybody who subscribes. If you want to subscribe, you help us do cool content. So Mike and Apollo were like, yeah, we're going to do this because it would be kind of cool. And then basically ran a tournament. King of the Hill winner stays on. $125 a game or something.
Yep.
Yeah. And then now our current king for the King of the Hill is Polt.
John.
Who,
sorry. Yes.
It is
Keep going.
Polt.
Keep going. Keep going.
It's Polt.
Keep going.
Who beat out Hyung. And so we're going to go in the final day on Thursday. So we know Polt's going to be there. We're bringing back Hyung because he was the longest reign as king.
Right.
So we didn't kill him. So he's going to be he's going to fight at the end to see if he can take on whoever's there. Unfortunately, Grubby was the other one that could have done that, but Hyung beat him out with like 4 wins in a row. So Polt is there, Hyung's there, and Apollo has invited more players. Yes, it will have to be 3 more players to compete. Who are the players, Apollo, that will be playing on Thursday?
Ta-da! It's going to be Pult, of course, being the
I
King
did
of the
that
Hill, into LGIM Seed,
Okay.
which is a really big name, of course. We'll then be playing against Liquid Ret,
Cool.
king of that.
Yeah.
Then we'll be playing against Axiom's Heart,
Yep.
and then finally
Hyung.
God.
Hyun.
Yeah. So Seed, Heart, Ret will be lined up to take on Polt, and if one of them beats him, they will remain king. Will take the crown, and then Hyung's going to try and defend his crown at the end because he was the longest reigning champion. So we could have a Polt versus Hyung all the way
Rematch,
through.
yeah.
You could have Seed.
And it's in
take
Polt
it
is
out.
actually right now he's the king for the IPL Fight Club, which is switched to HOTS too. So Polt has been doing pretty good.
He won his MLG Showdown as well, so he seems to be doing very, very well in
Build
Heart of the Swarm.
Marines and build more Marines.
That's
and
right,
then
Hellspawn.
micro them and then
That's that Heart of the
win.
Swarm approved stuff coming out right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blizzard did
Talbot's
it.
good unit,
Vengeance
right?
is live, apparently, by the way.
Yeah,
so
Vengeance
if
is
you want to
live.
open that up on a second stream, by all means do so, and please go in there and do message deleted because there's probably lots of Twitch. There's probably lots of Twitch staff in there.
Blizzard employees and Twitch
Yeah.
staff going, what
And-
the fuck?
Total lockdown! What's happening?
What have you done? You know that if Blizzard get wind of this, they're going to be like, shut them the fuck down. If we go offline, for some reason, you know why now.
Yeah, anyway,
Just
so where are we
like
going
Big
next in
Red Power.
StarCraft 2? Because I'm sure a lot of the guys watching StarCraft 2 want to go watch Vengeance, and of course we're going to move on to Dota 2 afterwards. There's lots of news in Dota 2. So in StarCraft 2, Semmler?
That's actually the end of our segment there. So we're going to wrap it up and actually go to break now.
Okay, cool.
And get set up
Bye-bye.
for Dota 2. So we'll be
That was
back with
perfectly
the
timed.
Statman. If you're into StarCraft 2, go watch the Vengeance Cup. It's happening now, and spam message deleted.
Twitch.tv.
See you guys in a minute.
Alright guys, we're live. Semmler, it's called a break, not a fucking holiday. You're the host.
Dum dum dum.
Twitch has problems. Like fucking
Alright.
lagging.
Welcome back, everybody.
Twitch has been really
Been
annoying lately.
Apparently, all of you guys are spamming message deleted, so congratulations. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dota 2 segment of The Good Show here at The Good Studio. You just had our name, so I don't need to do any of that, but I think we're going to go ahead and hop over to our corner here, our panel of experts who are going to be giving us the good lowdown information.
Bruno, you look pimp as fuck.
I know,
Dude,
right?
hold on. Just move the medallion a little bit.
Yeah, it's a bit. I'm
There
having
you
trouble.
go.
Yeah, I'm having trouble adjusting it.
All right, so how many people
That's
think
right.
that
Hellspawn.
needs to be gold-plated?
I didn't think you could look any worse on today's show. But now you just sat next to Bruno. Big
I
mistake.
know. I hate Bruno for that, but the rest I love, so
Sorry, man.
no problem.
Anyway, Semmler, how does it feel to be in the driving seat for
It feels
once?
fan-fucking-tastic. You have no idea.
You seem to be driving well.
Oh, it's nice. It's
Cool.
nice. Take a little bit of practice, I think, but it'll be all right.
Sounds good.
So, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's
Dota 2, this is what it's all about. No Tide Hunter is going to start us off. This is one of our big talking points in the Dota 2 segment this week. Eternal Envy was kicked out.
Yep.
And that's the phrase that they're using, kicked out.
I think that's the first time a team kicks their captain. Because, I mean, probably you're aware of this. Eternal Envy was the guy that created the team. They started with S4. Then they got Admiral Bulldog, and then they invited Loda and Aki to join. So he was the guy that created the team. And being the guy that creates the team and getting kicked off by... I mean, I'm not going to say that Loda kicked him, but he was the guy, like the messenger, the guy that said...
That's the thing. It's like, who's kind of responsible? Was it a committee at work, obviously? But
I mean, I can only imagine that the team went together and said, well, there's something that needs to be done. And probably they said, well, Eternal Envy is the weakest link here, so we're going to tell him to please move on to another team. I don't know. It's from that standpoint, it's kind of weird to actually have to kick your captain. But on the other hand, the numbers speak for themselves, because before kicking Eternal Envy, they were 9-6, which is okay, but
For which period?
they had a bit of a
just
slump,
like
isn't
last
that the
month.
idea?
Okay.
Yeah.
A bit more than that, actually. And then after kicking Envy, they started a winning streak of 5 games, starting with Power Rangers. Then right now they're playing in the EMS Cup, so they're 5-0 after that.
Well, let's
Did
go ahead
they
and
play
Navi.
Navi? Did they play Navi?
Yeah, they played
Navi.
Envy.
And they won.
Well,
Yeah.
before we get into their new streak, let's actually say who took over Eternal Envy's role, I suppose, which is...
But can
well,
we keep
let's-
to this topic first? and
Yeah,
then
let's.
go on?
We're going to talk about GTM in a bit,
so we
but
can go ahead and get to
I
that.
want to talk a bit about Eternal Envy.
Contain yourself.
Yeah.
Eternal Envy. Let's talk about
Eternal Envy. I mean, this is the interesting thing, because people are questioning. It's like he was very famous for that strategy debate during DreamHack, where he baited people to go into the Roshan pit. He sacrificed Admiral Bulldog, who had a Furion, who can tip you back, and they made a really, really nice play. You should check it out. But I mean, he's a great drafter as well, and I think that he falls in the same category as another person we're going to talk about today, is Synderen. I mean, he's a kind of a great captain, a great drafter,
Oh, not washed up.
but not washed up.
I thought you were going to say.
Okay, no, not yet. He's young. He's like, what, 20? But anyways, I mean, I was checking, because people are so saying that he's so great, and I kind of believed it as well. So I checked his statistics. And, in the last 14 matches with him, in only 2 of them he got more than 1 kill. And in 9 out of 14 matches, he got 6 or more deaths in a game. So, I mean, he's a support. He's not expected to have kills or anything, but, I mean, 1 kill at least. Not die 6 times in a game. He clearly has not been working as well. And people can say, well, Bruno, maybe you're biased because they weren't having the best of times. But I also looked at Aki's statistic, the other support. So he had more than 1 kill in 8 instead of just 2 of those 14 matches. And he only had 6 or more deaths in 5, not 9 of those matches. So the other support was playing really well.
Bruno, you're a great stat man.
Yeah,
But are you a good strat man?
I am.
Because people are saying that S4 came up with the strat. Not
S4
Eternal
was the
Envy.
one that
Yeah.
actually came up with it, and
Well, but I mean-
everyone is wrong with it.
That's right. okay, guys. It still drives my point home.
I don't
love
really
it.
share Bruno's part on like Eternal Envy as a captain. I still, maybe he pulled together like the first core, but I still see No Tide Hunter as Loda's team. As I think that Loda was the one talking with the sponsors, and no matter what players you have, it's the finance and the way that you have the sponsorship with it that is important. So I feel more that Loda came to the guys and they already had plans.
Well,
that's my view.
What
of
you're
it.
suggesting here is that the sponsor said, really, we're not happy with your team, we want a better team. You should make changes for that to happen. So I'm not saying that happens, but I mean, you're opening this possibility. The fact that sponsors may have hinted that we like the team, we want to sponsor you, we need something better to rough around the edges or something like that.
I think
I
Loda
think
got the sponsorship, built a team. He met these guys.
Yeah,
he brought them in.
I think it
for
was
me,
all
it's like
internal.
Loda's
Yo,
team.
Weppas, lay down the law.
What do you
Didn't
think,
they
mate?
say in an interview with Ghost of Gamers that he was approached to build a team and he invited Ake, And then
Yep.
he wanted S4 as well because he knew he was a good player. S4 suggested Bulldog and Envy.
I
And
think
then
also
they
that's
went
true.
with the No Tidehunter name because they already, like Envy and S4 and Bulldog was already under that name. So they just went with that name instead. So it wasn't actually Envy building the team.
Yeah, you are right,
It was
because
slowed
Loda
down
was the
arcade.
one that was, I believe, in charge of putting the team together, because
Yeah.
I heard that he approached some players, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So good job, Weppas. You get 5 points.
What the fuck? I was the one saying it.
Yeah, but he just said it really good.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Sometimes
Points for
Agreed.
Star
that
Wars.
means
You get half points. You get
Yeah.
half marks.
But also coming into this, I think in Internal Evis blog it was kind of correct that now when Loda got rid of Eternal Envy, it was bad, done in a bad way on the stream, and then like it snowballed. So it was like not clean done. It's almost good that they haven't revealed their sponsors because of how they acted. Anyway, I think that if this team will fail, I actually think that it will not be that Loda has to step down. It will be the end of the team. So I think really that kicking the captain and Loda taking like the captain role or making that kind of call will put this team more like they have to nail it and start to perform.
all right.
Well, they are performing now.
Just
so
out
I
of
mean,
curiosity, who's
Yeah.
going to become their drafter now?
S4 is drafting
S4 is
for them
drafting,
S4 is
right
going
now.
to be drafted.
All right,
Well-
let's go on. Go on.
I'll
Move
just-
on to where we're going next with this, Bruno.
Um,
what else has happened around Eternal Envy and No Tidehunter? Where do
well,
you want to go?
we just need to jump now to
the
the other
next,
thing, to the other
points.
part
Yeah.
of this
On
dilemma.
anything, so
And we're moving to the
basically-
Cupid Pandas for a bit. Then we're
Exactly.
going to tie everything together with a tight grip. But yeah, Semmler.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
We have announcements from the Cupid Pandas. The Cupid Pandas. Come with me and not a hacks will not be in the team.
I made this announcement, right?
I know you probably.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Well, you make part of it, but also come with me. Made a Facebook post with his side of the news.
I didn't agree.
Yeah, well, I mean, compared to Eternal Envies, I kind of it was different because first of all, Not a Hacks and Come With Me were not like part of the team. They were being
Officially, yeah.
on trial. So I mean, when you're on trial, you have to know that sometimes you stay in the team, sometimes you don't. But Come With Me was not agreeing with the team's decision, but also said, well, like, I understand. I mean, I'm on trial. This is what they expect of me. This is my feeling of how the game should be playing. They do not agree with each other, so we're parting ways in friendly terms. Not a Hacks did not do any kind of public statement, but I mean, probably was the same. The interesting thing about me is that Come With Me said not only in his post, but also in a comment in his Facebook post said, well, the Cupid Pandas want me to play like every other support, but better. And I don't like playing like that. I want to punish the other guy's mistake. I don't want to play like a support, even if I'm playing a support. So, and I quote him here. It says, even though I don't agree with them, I feel that this will lead them to play a single, very limited play style. Still, I wish them the best because I part with them in the most friendly terms. And I mean, they've still been talking to each other. I mean, there are no harm done,
They're
no
not
hard
at each
feelings at
other's
all.
throats, yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, his point of view, right? It's rare for supports to actually play like him. That's what makes him really interesting. And that's what makes him kind of a fib.
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Can I wrap up this segment
Sure.
and then give my own opinion?
Okay.
Is that okay? 'Cause-
You may.
Okay, yeah. So basically, as you mentioned, that's what happened with those two guys. Not Hack's very dedicated, but also had a lot to do within the trialing period to prove that he could play that role and at that level. EGM, that was the offlaner, I was very happy with him. And I do have a big say, at least in the team, because I put together teams in multiple games and actually, worked with them to be able to win titles and stuff. But ultimately, Singh and Wagga have the say. So EGM, I was extremely happy with EGM. Especially with his online, and he was only a trial. He got approached, obviously, by NTH, and then he decided to go with them. So no hard feelings, but I was just disappointed because I was like, that's a really great guy on the off lane. And one of the best things about it is that Wagga knew EGM was really, really good, and he ended up leaving Wagga's team a long time ago. I think it might have been Pulse or even before that, basically because they weren't training enough. So when they got him back in and there was lots of scrims, you could see that EGM was really dedicated and shining, and also no Tidehunter saw that. And so Cupid Pandas did shed a lot of light on a player that I think is now quite a hot topic, and also I think he's going to do really well for them.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that led the situation where it was like, okay, I wasn't happy that Come With Me didn't make the team. Basically, Come With Me is somebody that I understand is very high skilled and quite difficult to work with now. But at the same time, I've always found that kid to be super nice, but he has got an ego when it comes to the game because he thinks his opponents most of the time are not as good, right? And so he tries to do things thinking that it's going to work out better, and then it ends up doesn't. And I really wanted Come With Me to join the team because I just wanted to be able to slap him in person, remold him, and then be like, now you're fucking awesome. And now you can think you're awesome because you're better. But at the time, and Wagger and Singh, they were like, they maybe didn't think so. So I'm actually still rooting to get Come With Me in the team. That's actually where I want to go with this. Just because I think as a player in here, me being able to slap him every once in a while, he's going to do great.
Yep.
So obviously they've got a situation, Red Pandas, where they have three members now. Mini, who was permanent, which is absolutely fantastic player, and I'm really happy that they decided on him. And they're looking for 2 more. I'm going to give suggestions tomorrow to the guys, Wagger and Singh. I want them to tell me why they want to take players and what they're looking at. But I'm actually very interested in them approaching StarCraft 2 ex-professional select.
Interesting.
Because honest to God, like I've been watching him for the last 2 days streaming select, and I think he's got the dedication, he's really good technically, timing, and he could do something. But the trouble is, when you take select, you put the team 1 month behind than if they had EGM, because I think he's still got catching up to do. And Come With Me, I still think needs a month with the team at LAN to be able to play its full potential. But like that's where I would be
where
going.
you see it going as their manager.
But the problem for me about Select is Select comes from StarCraft 2, where I know what happened with him and Dignitas internally, where it's like he got paid this much, wanted a new contract, and then Dignitas were like, no, and then he decided I can do it elsewhere, and now he's, as far as I can tell on the stream, sat at home playing a Dota 2 in his mum's house because I watched him get food cooked for him. So it's a completely different ball game approaching Select for something like QPAD Red Pandas, because QPAD Red Pandas is like a grassroots team where the sense that they're putting in their money, they're putting in their time, and they're building the team. It's not like, hey, we're EG, here's everything that we can promise you, etc. Go do it. It's much bigger than that for the players, because they're going to learn a lot more than just playing. So that's just my opinion. Obviously, they don't even know what I've said here because I haven't spoke to them about it.
But I mean, looking at this, this is gonna keep going, happening. That the mid tier or the not as founded teams will have their star players or good quality players being picked up when someone wants to reswap. I mean, No Tidehunter, they were. I think people even claim them to be maybe one of the best teams in the world. In the end of this year, last year, and then they have had a really hard time. And I mean, Eternal Envy, he was like a genius at DreamHack Winter. People praised him, and he had these notebooks, he worked so hard, he knew everything, he had the drafts, everything, and then still they kick him out and turn in EGM. So I think that, I don't know, I hope it work out for No Tidehunter, but I feel that of course this is not good for them, because when they look so brilliant, they don't look as brilliant at this point, even though they performed.
You know what happens, Hellspawn? When a team is acclaimed by their captain, by their draft, and I mean, this is not the first time it happened, and this is again the comparison with Synderen. Synderen was hailed as a very, very smart captain back in early 2012 with his Yule, Scepter, Night Stalker. When your team is good because of your drafting, once the other guys figure you out, then you stop being good at the thing you were best, and you're just one more of just another team. So, I mean, I agree with everything that everyone said. Like, Eternal Envy was a great captain. He had very innovative strategies, not only in the way they drafted, but also in little plays like debate and that. But I mean, it comes a time where it gets old and you have to find something else, something new. And this is what happened right now with No Tidehunter.
I think also Eternal Envy should have been kept within the team for a longer time, because they were trying out things, and I felt that they, reading all these statements, feels like they had kind of an open conversation, and then suddenly, no, you're gone, you're kicked. Also looking at Cupid Pandas, I mean, they have had a rough start. They came out with, open mind trying to select people, and now they went down with 3 guys, which I really like. I mean, Sing Sing is brilliant.
I don't think...
Wagamama is like one of my favorites together with Mini. They are really nice guys, but they're lacking 2 guys to be able to perform.
I don't think they've had it that rough a time.
I think that, at this point, Cupid Pandas should have a 5 roster to perform.
I would have liked them to have 5 by
them.
now. But at the end of the day, it's better they pick players that are similar-minded and that they want to play with than to pick people that are good now because they feel that they need to win some online tournament or something. So I would have preferred them to have their team finalized, yeah. So I get to talk to him tomorrow, Sing and Wagga. Sing's flying in at 11 o'clock tonight. Wagga's asleep because he stayed up all night. So tomorrow I'm going to be like, right, give me at least a list of 6 people you want on your team and then get it done within 2 weeks. Because, yeah, I don't think they can fuck around for too much longer, even though I wouldn't call it fucking around. But it's like they need to understand that any new team always has this like special magical feeling where you're going to perform better anyway. Because it just... you have a little period where you're like, yay, isn't it great? We're so motivated. But that's the whole point of having me around, them in Stockholm to be able to train. Bruno secretly doing the drafting and balancing the game around what they want to play. And, so I think Come With Me would have been a great fit. I'm disappointed about that. But at the end of the day, it's not final yet.
Good part though, I saw that Loda played Slaughter against Fnatic, although it didn't work out with that melee draft, but go Slaughter.
Yeah.
You really like that hero.
Yeah, it's fun.
And he likes Naga Siren. Remember that, Bruno?
Yep.
Do you remember that Hellspawn?
When Slaughter will be on top. He didn't even pay
No one got
attention.
your joke then. I got it, but I couldn't laugh because I just felt rude.
No, I didn't get it.
It's okay. Never mind.
They're both fish. They like...
Anyways.
Was the reasoning made public as to why the 2 trial players didn't make the team?
Well, it was basically that
He knows.
Come With Me wasn't necessarily on the same page as a team with some stuff.
Right.
And maybe had different mindsets to how to play the game. And then I was like, well, could be a really good offlaner. He did it in AL and he was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then Not a Hacks, I just think had too far to come and improve in terms of going from where he was playing into a support role. But both of them, no one disagreed that they're nice guys and they put in a lot of dedication. It's just did it feel right? And EGM and Mini were definitely the 2 that stood out for in practice times. As in, EGM's timing was fantastic, and Mini, even after a couple games, was calling a lot more shots and moving creating a lot more movement with good communication. Mm-hmm. And sometimes Come With Me would just randomly go off and do something and die, and then sometimes he'd just be the best player in the game and win the game for him. So he was unstable, but that's something I felt that could have been improved on. Anyway.
Also, that I think it was laughable that a lot of people thought the Pycat would join in TH.
Okay. Anyway, let's move it on. Semmler, where are we going now?
Let's keep going. So next topic in Dota 2 is ZSMJ, rumored to join Vichy Gaming.
Yeah, emphasis on rumor, because it's all a retweet from Rice. Rice, the player from DD. I think he's playing in DD now.
Oh, isn't it AL now?
AL, sorry, yeah, he's AL. They got confused. He's playing in AL. He tweeted that someone said that BT Gaming...
Mystery.
Mystery, but is that the same? Well, someone said that it's not the same Mystery. I think
Mystery's Twitter is like Mystery the God or something. So
it's not the same guy.
It's just some
it's kind of that's why it's kind of weird. I think it's the rumor is possible because first of all, there are 2 things to take into account here. First, ZSMJ. Second, BT Gaming. Let's start with BT Gaming. They were made famous by playing the G League. They didn't do too well, but they were very innovative and they took a couple games from really good teams. They didn't win versus IG, but I think they got one against Tongfu and MUFC, either or. Anyways, the thing about this team is that they like to announce teams that have players that people like. Like 1 month ago, they announced that they were going to have a new team with Yafet, which is a very famous guy, the player, pop star that played Shadowfiend. But then they said, no, well, it's just a promotional team. It's not really. It's for Dota 1. No. And now they're announcing this. So for that, I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt because VG Gaming is kind of sensationalist when they make their announcement, and then again, this is a tweet of a rumor or someone saying so hearsay. On the other hand, it's really interesting, even if it's a rumor, because CSMJ, people who just watched Dota 2 and never heard about him, probably, he was a very, very good player in Dota 1. When people talk about carry players, they talk about Burning right now, like the best carry player. Back then, it was the SMJ, even before Burning was in the scene.
What was he famous for? Was he famous for something?
It was
Yeah.
the rapier thing.
Was
Well,
it the rapier?
Yeah,
Farming
Medusa,
a rapier in
Medusa
7
double
minutes or
rapier and
something.
stuff. No, that was the when he played Phantom Lancer and farmed the relic in 7 minutes, and then he got
Right.
killed because they roared the courier, and then he farmed the new one, and they won the game. Blah blah.
Oh,
But there's actually a lot more to that game as well. So if people can watch the old Warcraft 3 VODs, you should actually go watch it. It's like a sick
So
game.
this is the guy that you basically have.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had we
it's a
talked
sick
about Michelle a
character.
while ago before Bruno was here, and it was a huge deal for some of the Dota guys in
Yeah.
the house, where it was like, ZMS MJ is basically one of the carry players that if he comes back, it's going to be like, could he rival
just-
Burning? But is
During-
he
during that
even
time.
coming back? So anyway, yeah, you said it was a rumor.
It's a nice announcement. It kind of happens just at the same time that Medusa comes into CM. He was very famous for his Medusa, so maybe it's a bit of hype. I don't know. He still has a team. Like he's practicing with a couple guys a lot, and they want to have a team, but they haven't announced anything yet. Maybe they will announce.
So
maybe
it's
not.
all speculation.
It's all speculation. So let's move on.
So let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is Black Shatten has retired, apparently.
Yeah, Black Shaden. Actually, for probably most people know this guy. He played for Natural 9, then AL, then back to Natural 9. The Australian guys, God's team. They went to the International too. They didn't perform that great over there, but I mean, they went there. It was kind of a very fun team, and I'm really sad for him to go because he was a very versatile player. He played the 1, 2, and 3 position for Natural 9. But then again, I mean, Australians couldn't find, first of all, the results in anything that they were competing. And it's really hard being Australian because if you play in European tournaments, you have lots
Three
of
times a
yeah,
day.
exactly.
Yeah.
And if you play with Chinese to Southeast Asians, well, they're kind of on another level. So it's hard for an up-and-coming team because they were not bad. I mean, but they were up-and-coming, and when you're like that, then the first match you have to play against IG, and good luck with that. So they struggled a lot finding competition, maybe seeing if there were another Australian teams coming around. There were a couple, like no one really meshed. So they're kind of in no man's land now, and Black Shaden said, well, guys, this is it. I don't want to just speculate now.
Yeah, they shut down the team last week. So
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's basically done.
Yep.
Done there.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, redefining Madness disbands.
Yep. And now
This
we
is Synderen's team.
This is
That's
something
Synder's
we
team.
were talking
Synder
about
and Matt
Synderen
Matrim.
earlier.
Also Tulex, Dutch Freak, and
Warlock.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Synderen's letter about why they were disbanding was really well written. I mean, you know that he's a very well spoken guy. Pretty much, he says, "Well, we started this team like a few months ago, and right now we see no improvement. It's like we're not worse, but we're not better, and we would expect that after a couple of months playing against Fnatic, against Navi, against
Because
everyone."
he did actually hold the team from entering tournaments for the reason they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can get better. And so, 2 months passed. He didn't see the improvement that they wanted with the team, and
Exactly.
then decided to move on. That
Yeah,
was it.
I mean, if you look at their stats in the last 14 matches, after they changed the name to Redefining Madness, which is when they lost the MTW sponsorship, they were 3-11.
I wouldn't say they lost MTW sponsorship. MTW
Went
closed.
down.
Well, yeah, but I mean, bottom line
An
is that-
unlucky situation for Synder and his team, yeah.
so they were 3-11, and the 3 matches they won. This is Next, which is not a good team right now. HWA Kingston and 4 Friends plus Grilly, no tier 1 teams at all.
No.
So whatever games they were playing, if they were playing against a tier 1 team, it was an automatic loss. And actually, another interesting thing is that he says that they tried lots of stuff, and I was like, Synderen, I'm not sure I believe you, so I have to check myself. So in 14 matches, they played 35 different heroes. That's 2.5 new heroes per match. That means that they were changing a lot. So, I mean, what Synderen says is true. They were definitely trying around new stats, new different things, different picks. Nothing seems to work for them. Some people might say, well, why don't you stick to like a core? And they did have a core, most importantly, Shadow Demon. But if they were not finding the result, they had to try this and that. So
Did Synderen play carry mid?
No, solo mid.
So he
They,
played-
they,
he stuck
changed, they
with this
changed
solo
it.
bit.
They changed it the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Synderen actually played carry instead. And Tulix went mid, but they also had, I believe, they changed up with Warlog and Dutch Freak as well. So they changed around the roles quite a bit to just see how it was working out. But in the end,
In the end, it just couldn't
no,
make it.
no
Yeah.
matter what, I think that MTW going under, they don't have a sponsorship. It's also a big reason, because if they performed, they could get a new sponsorship. If they didn't perform, they couldn't get a new sponsorship. So I think like losing MTW also put extra pressure into it, and maybe it was not worth it to kick 1 or 2 players and
but
bring
like-
new, because they had nothing to offer.
It's not so bad not having a sponsor right now because there's so many online tournaments. So
Yeah, but you want to
Yeah, you
play
have to
to
win.
go to the big tournaments.
It's all
yeah,
about
but
the
like,
lands,
yeah,
though.
but
You
like
need
when you
land
don't have a
practice to go
sponsor,
to the international.
you basically win the money online, and you basically set the goals out. As long as everyone's similar-minded, which they obviously were to start with, because they stayed together for 2 months, trying to get better. Anyway, so Synderen's team's disbanded. Everyone's
Yeah.
Leaves them
out
high and
of
dry.
a non-sponsorship team.
Couple
And-
guys will probably join some new teams.
Yeah.
People are asking for Synderen to go into the Cupid Pandas. I don't know.
But that's the thing.
I
Where
got
does this
this-
leave Synderen? Is he going to start rebooting another team yet again?
Well, he
And
normally did, so I
this
don't
is
see
kinda
why
just
not.
his thing.
But
It's-
it just feels like, Synderen's, how to say, market value the last year, it's just gone downhill a lot.
I
So
can,
I see-
I can
I
actually
just see
say,
I don't see him being maybe able to put together the team that he would like to put together.
one thing I found very sad when I was at the International, MTW, a lot of people talking about other people and how bad they were in the team.
Oh,
And there was a
right.
lot of fingers being pointed at Synderen, which
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sucked. And I was like, this team's gone to shit. I was like, they ain't
Well,
going to win a game, they ain't going
as
to win
soon
a
as
thing.
they start
Like, no
that,
one
yeah.
trusts each other. And so that team, with those the French, and they were just pointing fingers at Synderen, and I don't know if it's a case to be true. But yeah, so I won't name names, but yeah, Synderen was getting a lot of fingers pointed at him even then. So I'm not sure what I can't judge the caliber of players in Dota 2 on a professional level, obviously, because I'm not pro. But I'm not sure what the pro scene thinks about him and his chances. Where he is basically. I don't know. I don't know where to place him.
I
in
think
the-
that, the beliefs that he is even worse than he is, or like even if he's bad, people think even worse of him. I think, and also what you add into it, that if your team doesn't even believe in you, how can you perform in such a team game? It's like impossible.
Exactly.
It's
As
based
soon as
that
the finger
everybody
pointing-
would do what they are supposed
Well, it's
to
just
do.
like as soon as the
otherwise-
finger pointing starts, you've got the
Yeah,
clock,
then it's over.
and that team is not going to last.
Well, maybe what can happen that can change things is that since the beginning of Dota 2, Synderen has made his own teams. Like he was in Evo far back in TA1, and after that he was the guy responsible for creating the team and picking the people. And maybe because you want to pick the best players, you might not pick the people who work best with you, and then because you're the captain, you get the responsibility and people point fingers at you. Maybe what should happen now is some other team should approach Synderen and say, well, want to be part of our team, not the creator, not the main guy.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe like that, he could, like that he
The
could.
pressure will be off.
Yeah.
Because it's also, we're talking about Spotlight. He was a
I-
commentator, he was
yeah.
a host, etc.
And
that
you also have
puts
to
a lot of
realise
attention on him.
when you're a captain and when you have to do a lot of the talking in game, you actually play worse generally.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, Eternal Envy said that in his post. It's like because he was having to talk and communicate and kind of. People were saying what we're doing now because they said, you are meant to be the captain. He said he personally ended up playing worse himself. And I always do fucking history stories. But when we played like Quake, CTF, TDM, or whatever, it was very important that like the best fragger and player could have as little communication as possible, just so that he could really focus on what he was good at, and then someone that played a much more metagame role would do a lot more of the talking because you knew that he was generally you'd lose a good % of concentration on the actual combat fighting and having to throw that around. So
Same in Counter-Strike. I mean,
Yeah.
normally the in-game leader is the worst performer.
Well, in Dota, it's not really the worst performer. It's usually the supports. Like usually the
it's
fifth
normally
or
someone that's in
the
a good
fifth or the
position to
fourth
do it.
because
yeah.
they can always watch the map like
Yeah.
all the time. So it's usually them that are the in-game shot callers, and if it's a mid player instead, then it usually gets harder and it affects his play. So
I just hope that Synderen can get into a team. I mean, he's one of the most experienced ones, and I think that he can actually do good if he gets the possibilities. I would think, hope at least.
It's just a matter of keeping your eyes open and seeing what's going to happen next.
Yep.
I'm actually quite interested to see if somebody decides to pick him up as a team member and
Probably
as a
someone will.
founder.
for
you know, that would be a
example.
really interesting development. But we'll find out.
Can
just-
I mean, he could
Go
also
ahead.
retire and go as a
full-time
full-time
commentator as well.
He go
yeah,
live with
that's-
Toby.
could live in
Do you
that
know
loser.
the French guys that he was with in MTW?
Fancy? No,
How-
no.
how is-
Kebab is German. He's not French.
Oh, sorry, but those guys, how is going for them?
They're playing
Uh,
in HCM now. They played in DD together with Link and Crit, and now they created a new one because they left that team, and it was only who was it left on that? team?
Unicorn.
Oh, Calculus. No,
Yeah.
Calculus is the only one left on DD. So they created a new team, HCM, which is DD or no, Link, Crit, Fancy, Soksha, and fucking
fucking
Matt.
mad.
All right, cool.
So you could say they haven't performed that well since leaving.
Well, not really.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just keep your ear to the ground. You guys will keep with the info. But we're going to go ahead and move on here to the results of the Big Point Battle, the first of its kind.
Yep.
Or the first of its kind, the first of its name.
And the winner was
Exactly.
Team Liquid.
Team
Great.
Liquid takes winner.
Keeps winning.
Second comes to Mouse Sports.
yeah.
So there was a good bit of money on the line. A lot of competitors in here. But actually, I'd like to hear from Weppas to start things off this time around. What did you make of the tournament so far?
Well, I didn't actually watch that tournament, so throwing it over to me, not the best part. But like overall, the tournament in general, with having these smaller tournaments popping up, this one as well as the ISO Open or the ISO Cup or whatever it's called,
Mhm.
I think it's really good because before it was pretty much only the 4PL cups. That was the weekly cups, that the smaller cups where everybody could enter, and you had some invites, and then the 4PLs don't have any invites, I don't believe, but you can turn up with any team and just play, and then there's a smaller prize pool, and I think it's good that there's a bit bigger prize pools than these, but it's good that more and more are popping up. So
I think
more
Big Points
teams-
are a really fucking cool tournament.
yeah,
Yeah.
more
$2,000 a
teams
month
are
is
popping
nice. Sponsors a bit weird. It's that flash game thing that we looked at
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week, right?
And also there were some very interesting matches. Like Team Liquid had, people are talking, they won versus Mouseport, but the game everyone tuned into was Team Liquid versus Fnatic, two of the hottest teams in the Western scene right now.
Mhm.
That was the
Yeah.
semifinals. Team Liquid won that game 2-1.
Big win.
Team Liquid
win.
are doing fucking great, man. We
Yeah.
already spoke about that last time, I believe.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Was the final game the one when they had Gyro against PO?
It would be such
Or
as
was
well.
that the,
Was there a
that
big
was the
comeback
defense,
game or
right?
something?
Yeah, that was the defense.
Anyway, the other
Sexy
thing,
Bambo says, Weppas don't cry, you look sad.
yeah. So quickly wrapping up, Team Liquid won to get to the championship. They won first versus AL, then versus Team Dignitas. They beat Fanatics, and finally they beat Mouse. And Mouse, on the other hand, they beat Infinity and Beyond, the team that disbanded with Merlini and Select, actually. Then Radical Online Extremist, Kaipi, and they lost to Team Liquid. So that's it about Big Point. Great tournament, $2,000 or euros.
2,000 euros.
Euros a month. Keep tuning in because it's really cool.
It's well worth it. Yet
Yeah.
another one. So, congratulations to Team Liquid. We'll go ahead and move on now. Orange wins the Gosu Cup Asia 5, beating Myth Trust.
Yeah, so that was kind of an okay tournament. I mean, Gosu Cup has this kind of thing that either Zenith or Orange wins it pretty much every time. Zenith was not in the tournament this time. They won versus Myth. Not very interesting teams to talk about. There were MSI Evo, Neo International, and First Departure were the other teams of notice, up from, I think, 200 and something teams. Either way, I mean, it was okay. Congratulations to them. Not much to say. The only thing is that watch out, because we're talking about Southeast Asia. We're talking about like Zenith and Orange pretty much, and nothing else. Like there's, but Winter, you know, the guy that commentates with Beyond the Summit.
Yeah,
he was in
BTS.
Orange. He's preparing a team. I've seen them play.
It's LD and Gods, isn't it?
No.
It's...
No, I can't say. And he will have to announce the team.
How
But
do
I
you
mean,
know
no.
these things,
it's
Bruno?
fucking cool team, and they were like, you know what, Orange, we scream against them and we beat them all the time. So I'm really eager to see that.
But this final,
Holy shit.
I don't remember if I saw, but I think Orange just stomped Myth in the
Yeah,
final. It
yeah.
was like,
I mean,
Was
they
it
stopped,
2-1,
there was a
I believe?
2-1. They just lost one match, but I mean, they won 2-0 every other single game, and then that
Alright.
so they
two
lost one against Myth.
against Smith, yeah.
All right.
But it
Cool.
was
Brilliant. Well, how much did they win, just before we move on?
$1,000. No, it's actually $500 for the winner. It's $1,000 prize divided between.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
500 for the winner. Myth Trust took 300, and First Departure took 200.
Yep.
Right, well, where are
All
we going
USD.
next on our Dota 2 adventures?
Congratulations to them. But
Sexy.
next up, we have another tournament to actually speak of, and this is actually a brand spanking new one.
Yeah.
It's the AZO Cup that has been announced.
Yeah.
which is going to be 8 teams invited, 8 teams through qualifiers.
Exactly. They already announced it. 7 of the 8 invited teams. It's a €1,750 prize pool. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sold on this tournament entirely. I wish them the best, but looking at the invited teams, you have Empire and Team Liquid, which clearly are tier 1 teams and teams you want in your
The big
tournaments.
draws, yeah.
Then you have Mouse, BP, and EG, which are like decent teams, probably not going to win this all, but they're okay. Then you have like Fourth Lance, Really, and Baguette, which, I mean, clearly these are the teams that you invite when you don't have all the others, like Team Dignitas, like, I don't know.
When you have no other access to no other teams out
So, I mean, maybe it's just the organizers not knowing all the teams. Maybe it's just too many tournaments and they ask other teams, say, well, we can't commit to this or that. They arrive too late. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this tournament. I hope it will turn out okay, but from the organization, not too convinced.
And James is feeling that not enough attention is being paid to him, so he's making cooing noises.
No, I'm not.
What's up, James?
I'm not doing that.
Hi.
I like the Semmler
You ruined it.
into the
I was
middle
going to do it
of
for the whole
of
show, and it
studio.
would really piss off chat. And then they'd be like, then I troll them.
You're taking
Exactly.
space, Semmler. You're like...
It's like I'm the host that takes the
Slowly,
middle.
I'm migrating over here, and if you notice, actually, James is like slowly leading away as well. So eventually, what's going to happen is I'll move here, and James will be off somewhere over there sitting with Trance.
Brilliant.
But so basically, is that all we have to say about the
Apollo
ASO
there.
Cup?
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
else you want to
mentioned it
say.
before with the big point. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I believe it's going to be a monthly thing as well. I'm not
It is. Yeah.
too sure, but yeah. So it's good seeing more tournaments. So now people can actually decline tournaments instead of like playing all of them.
Right, they have a choice. There's gonna
What's
have
that
they're gonna
for
have
a
a selection.
sentence from chat? My girlfriend says James is #1 homo role player.
Mobo is hobo of all.
I role play a gay person.
It's the hair.
Very good dude.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Okay.
moving on the show.
Moving on.
Brilliant comment from your girlfriend, by the way. AKA mum. You fuck it. Wow. No joking.
So that wraps it up for all of our major topics of the week. We're actually going to go ahead and throw it over to our Statsman now so that he can do his segment of the
We
show.
really need a jingle or
Statsman with
something, like
Bruno.
a
We
theme
need
song.
a jingle and like a little like da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Fucking
I want her Skype. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just talking to chat now.
You chat whore.
Yeah, don't worry, dude. I believe you. I could be homo.
Okay. Anyways, let's make this quick because we're already like talking too much. First, as usual, we talk about stats for the week. We talk first about heroes, then about teams, then about players. So for heroes, very quick. Top 3 picked heroes of the week. Gyrocopter, not surprising, and also doing very well with 66% win rate. Shadow Demon and Keeper of the Light, the 2 most considered strongest support, also picked 24 times siege, but 33% win rate. It's not that much. I mean, they're kind of in there. And Life Stealer, the other one, preferred carry even above like Phantom Lancer and other stuff. He's picked 27 times and he's 50%, so even. Actually, a little bit less, but it's okay.
I don't remember.
rounded
Some
up.
commentator, if it was, called him out to be the best hero at the moment.
I mean,
Over
he's the hottest trend. It's Life Stealer. He has built-in BKV, which means that you can go for more damage items. You don't have to build defensive until really late when you want it hard.
he
It's
hits
kind of
like
cool.
a motherfucking truck.
But then again, I mean, if you have a like Bad Rider or Beastmaster, something that go through BKV and you get through that rage period, then I mean, if you have enough burst damage, you can kill him. I don't know. I like the hero, but it's
My newbie view on it is like Life Stealer is kind of strong throughout the game, like from the beginning to the end. He doesn't really have a weakness.
Hellspawn.
That's my view on it.
Well,
Is
is
Life
it
Stealer
approved?
approved?
Is it approved?
Are you approving Lifestealer?
Yeah, I approve. Like
Lifestealer approved.
Yeah.
Thumbs up,
We got the
Lifestealer,
thumbs up.
everybody.
We got 2 thumbs up, not a third.
Holy shit.
Weppas
We know-
I like it.
is
I
not
think
on
it's
the
good.
boat.
and it's in the picture.
am I off or
Can
Yeah.
we do an
Well-
official announcement so we know what Pycat will be picking, fighting over IG against in the next tournament? They will all be going for Lifestealer.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it's approved.
Their picks are-
Anyways, moving on. Moving on. Come
Go,
on.
man, go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Most banned heroes.
Don't be
As
sorry.
probably you know, Nyx, Bad Rider, and Wisp. Those are the heroes that normally everyone bans. Nyx again has 8 wins and 4 losses, which is a lot, so it justifies being banned 34 times. But Bad Rider with 30 and Wisp with 29 are doing 6-7, and actually Wisp is 8-5. So from what I read here is it's worth banning Wisp and Nyx because teams that pick those heroes kind of win with them. They seem to be really strong.
There's a tendency in that.
But Ryder, he's like 48%, not so much. It's kind of like, well, we ban him because we still respect him, but it's not a game-changing hero. So that's that about heroes, picked and banned. Trends are not changing any much. We're hoping to see more alchemies, which we're seeing, and that may start to change things up.
Fnatic plays it.
Yeah. Fnatic plays it a lot, and there are a couple of heroes like I think Rox plays it as well.
Here's
Hoping to
all
see
about
some
the Wisp.
Medusa as
Do you
well.
think the Wisp will move into
No, it's not gonna
Southeast Asia and China soon? Because China, you don't see Wisp.
No, the thing about, and I think Pika went through this last time, is Wisp
In
are
the
very
lane,
weak.
he's nothing.
Yeah, his laning
like
is
range
just a creep. He's a
Yeah.
ranged creep. It deals no damage at all. It's
And
just
it's about, and
Yeah,
he, and he
6
said it's
creeps.
about throwing your abilities in the best way possible in those kind of phases, and Wisp doesn't seem to offer much. So,
yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, they don't like it. Doesn't mean that they won't play it, and eventually, like eHome did that. But then again, I mean, reportedly, when eHome did that against like this very famous match versus Orange, in TI2, when they went Wisp and Tiny, they said, well, what we know isn't working, so we're going to try something stupid, and stupid was Wisp. So that's their thoughts about their hero. So now, okay, going to teams. Hot or not? Hot teams of the week. People were talking like, oh my god, Fnatic is 18-2 in the last 20 matches, and they're being really strong.
Can we just do this segment with this overlay rather than looking at you? So we're going, just continue your segment. I just
Sure.
want to look at this picture just so we have like some sort of podcast feeling to it, because I think
Sounds
people
good.
are going to want this anyway on their iPods and stuff.
That's
So you bring
great.
up my screen. Continue, Bruno.
I love it. Actually, Fnatic lost a couple matches recently, so they're 16-4, and the new king is Team Liquid, naturally, with 17-3 in the last 20. Also, a hot team, we talked about it before, No Tidehunter after Eternal Envy is out and EGM is in, they're 4-0. Actually 5-0 because they just won EMS 1, the semifinals. No, the semifinals, they're going to the finals. And the not teams, they were not terribly underperforming teams this week. Like even EG, who were losing pretty much everything, just lost won a couple matches. So they're feeling a bit more confidence. They're saying maybe the slump is over now. I wish them the best, guys. But I mean, we're talking about teams that are underperforming according to expectations, which is Navi. Navi, they're
There's a lot of
10-10.
talk about them lately.
Yeah, they are 10-10, so 50%, which for other teams is kind of okay, but for Navi, you expect them to win every single time. They're not. They're losing against teams like Power Rangers. They're losing matches that they've been winning for like 10k gold and 15k experience. I don't know. It's they have to make it better some way, and you can't just say like the best tournaments are coming along because time's passing. I mean, the LAN tournaments we have right now are really good, and the LAN tournaments they played in, I mean, they won Star Ladder, but DreamHack they're underperforming, and I don't know. I think they have to get up to speed with that, and also like smaller team, but it's Skype. They're 6-4. I put them like it's not because they were looking pretty strong a couple weeks ago. They were hoping to be like make the jump into a solid contender team, if not a tier 1 team. But they failed to do so, and they just fall off in the last couple of matches, and they lost. So they're 6-4 now, and that's it about teams. Finally, player of the week. Yeah. So
Last week it was TC.
no, first week it was TC. Last week it was Airman from Virtus Pro.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, in kills, for example, if we take kills per game in big tournaments, Airman is still the first and TC is the second. But this time we're going to give just one honorary mention and the player of the week. The honorary mention goes to the supports from Fnatic. Particularly like Fly and No Tail are playing really, really well, with both being in top 4 in less deaths and top 3 in more assists. So they are not getting the kills because they're support and they're not supposed to.
But they're doing their jobs.
But they're doing their shit. They're not dying. They're assisting a lot. So honorary mentions for them. But player of the week this time goes to Mouse Sports Black. Because he's been playing really, really great this week. He's third in most kills per game. He's second in most GPM per game, second in most experience per game, and first in last hitting creeps. So he's very, very good at hitting those.
All right, is that wrap it up, Bruno?
Yep, that's it.
Thank you for the stats and weather. with the Stat Father. I had to
My
bring up
gosh.
that little bit of an overlay just because the way that you move is so majestic that people wouldn't be able to concentrate on what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I had to put up that overlay just so it would really sink in. I think it could go straight to, an album.
But
Yeah.
I'm
People
surprised.
would listen to that.
I'm surprised
Better than Bieber.
Mouse is doing so well, and Black is just such a nice guy. I think he actually could be picked up to even a stronger team.
Well, he was trying to get into a Chinese team after the international tour. He was really like, hey, don't you need a carry? I'm really good, and he's really good. But yeah, well, it's kind of hard.
How much do you like, by the way? What was that hero you mentioned before? Maybe you can recognize it. Let's bring it up.
As for
I feel less manly with that.
But the thing is, Bruno, you actually still fucking work it.
true,
Looks good on me. Yeah. What can
well
I
done,
say?
chat. For
That was very nicely done.
Yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on because apparently
what's-
there have been a lot of tournaments happening recently.
oh, can I do the announcement?
You go ahead.
Am I able to do it, or did you
yeah,
prepare
no,
something?
you just go ahead and do it.
Did you prepare something awesome?
Of course, I always prepare something
Fucking
awesome.
Statman Bruno.
We're coming back with Statman Bruno with an announcement. Stay tuned. Just go to quickly go, like we're some sort of TV show. That's like a cliffhanger. He's got something to spat over the screen. All right, cliffhanger announcement with Statman Bruno after the break. Quick break, then come back. We come back now. Come back now. Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Everyone's been waiting for the big announcement with Statman Bruno. They've stayed around.
Yeah, actually, well, Semmler, before the break, he was talking about a lot of tournaments going on. But there's a tournament that I really miss. One that is not now, which is the Staff Cup. Do you remember the Staff Cup where like people like the Good
The
Studio were playing?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Remember it at all.
Do you remember
Well,
what?
what's
Please
that?
pull some
Where's
clues
Jackson?
I've
now.
never heard of it before.
Jaskell still screams about it at night. He wakes up sweating in the evening.
My
I
whole team let me the
believe-
fuck down that whole tournament.
Really, yeah, it was all their fault. Fortunately, I'm here now.
Yay!
So the thing is, I was thinking, I was playing back then with Beyond the Summits team.
even though we already knew you were fucking coming over and working with us, and you
Yeah.
went and played with them anyway, we couldn't have you on our team because it would give away.
Well, the thing is, I didn't want you on their team because everyone was expecting the Good Studio versus Beyond the Summit show match. And had you win that match, you would have faced them there, and the Staff Cup would have taken all the glory of having this tournament and that. But I said, why do it for them instead of doing it for us? So, Beyond the Summit, we challenge you. The match that couldn't be in the Staff Cup. The Good Studio, that will be James Too Good Harding, Draskill, Weppas.
Why are you putting Weppas when you said Draskell? Sorry, I'm watching you. It's really good. I like
Yeah,
the voice.
yeah, there you
you
go.
did the
Thank
voice
you.
and everything. I'm so sorry. Okay, go again. Say my name.
Yeah.
The Good Studio. And
James
point to me.
Too Good-
Okay, no, wait. Camera change. Camera change.
James Too Good Harding,
Yeah.
Weppas, Draskill, which is
Who's
not
asleep
here
right now.
yeah. I'm listening to myself. Bruno, yeah,
Okay, and Scriff.
and Scriff, which is right here.
No,
Scriff is his camera, that camera. Yeah, it's his camera.
wrong camera. You went into the wrong camera, you idiot. Scriff.
So now
Listen.
it's 5 versus 5.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
It's on! And now, let me tell you, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of LD, because you know how Pycat was saying that LD is really imbad, and he's not talking about you, he was talking about Lone Druid. I don't care about gods, because he's so used to playing with Australian ping.
Oh, yeah, I want to do one as well.
Yeah, I'll leave you last one, That's one for
okay.
you. Last one for you. Gods, I'm not afraid of you, because you're so used to playing with Australian pings, 300, 400, that when you play with decent ping, you won't be able to perform well. Pirion Flags. I know which heroes you can play, and there are just a couple of them, so I will ban them, so you won't be able to play any of the heroes that you know. Cyberman,
yeah.
I'm kind of scared of you, because you're kind of like my other half, you can hack the game and stuff, but I can hack it as well, so we're fine. And,
And winter, we ain't fucking scared of winter because we live in motherfucking Stockholm, motherfuckers. This is Sweden. It's always winter. We own this shit over here. So we'll take on winter as well. Fucking BTS are going down.
For those of you who are still watching and not dying in the floor laughing, this will be next Saturday. This Saturday, actually. 21 CET. That's European time. So stay tuned. You can see our stream. They can see their stream.
Good Studio versus Beyond the Summit.
Not
Saturday.
afraid.
It's on.
Yeah.
There
Going
we go.
fucking down. Tune in this Saturday. Best of 3.
That's it.
That's it.
Taking them on.